Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Tonight, we are running a one-shot, The Good Boys. The concept and original scenario were written by Sean Little, and I've altered it a bit with his permission. I'm the game master, and this is the fourth version that we have run. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. It's late October, 1951. It's about 10:30 at night, and the moon is slowly rising. Four men stand in a grove of trees on the edge of a parking lot in the small town of Bailey, Maine. They were told where to find the man. They were told he was not what he appeared to be. "Make sure of it, boys," old Father O'Leary had told them. "I can absolve you of the sin of killing a monster without alerting the authorities, but make a mistake and kill some innocent soul, and there'll be hell to pay." The moon was climbing to its zenith when the old man appeared. His name, as you were told, was Cleveland Franco. He was dressed in rags and pushing a shopping cart filled with junk. He was heading to a small stairwell behind a building that he used to shelter himself from the cold and wind. But you were sure that his transformation would come soon, and the hunt would begin. What do you do?
So are we staking this guy out right now?
Yeah. You're all dressed in black. You're here to make sure that he's a monster, and if he is, kill him.
Do we know where he is?
You guys are in a parking lot. And he's where you are, behind the building, and he's going down into a stairwell where he's going to probably sleep for the night. He's looks like a homeless person in rags.
Is he alone? Is there anyone following him?
He's all alone. In fact, there's this part of the town, there's not much traffic this time of night. It's 10:30.
Hank's gonna light up a smoke.
You're going to light something up that makes a flash of light.
Are we nearby him, like pretty close?
Oh, no.
You're maybe 150 feet away from where he is.
Oh,
You're
okay.
standing with the forest behind you, so you're black against black.
Oh, okay. I don't do that. Well, any minute, boys. I can feel it. It'll change,
We're going to have to go in there.
I'd say. Well, how can we get across this parking lot without making a noise? I'm sure there's cans and broken glass and...
We'll have to watch your step.
This isn't our first hunt, boys. I think we can make do.
As you're watching him, he's taking stuff out of the old shopping cart, and he's taking it down into the stairwell with him. So after a couple more moments, he goes out of sight down the stairwell. You think it's just like the back of a building stairwell going down to a basement, maybe.
This looks like our chance, boys.
Do any of us have binoculars?
Sure.
Was I able to maybe get a look at what he was removing from the shopping carriage and bringing down the stairwell?
It looked like a bundle of some sort in an old blanket.
Hey, what was he carrying?
Something wrapped in maybe a blanket or some canvas, like a bundle.
Was it moving?
Was it?
He was moving it, so it would be hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. He was moving it around and shuffling around, walking. I don't know.
It didn't look like he was straining with it. But then again, monsters tend to sometimes have super strength.
So do we have pretty good intel on this guy? Like leading, okay, this man by this name at this location has...
So the way you normally get your information is through Father O'Leary, where you're living in that monastery, he occasionally gets communiques from higher up in the organization. Everybody's kind of secretive, about who's doing what to whom, because it's the Catholic Church, and they can't have a bishop or a cardinal or somebody like that implicated in what's going on, but it's a necessary part of the organization. But he gets the information, which he's given to you in this case, told you where to go, where to look, maybe if there was sort of a sketch or a drawing of what he might look like, his situation. But like he said to you, make sure, we don't want to accidentally kill somebody who's innocent.
So how about those brooches that we're all wearing? When we were...
It's usually when you get closer to something, or if there's a triggering thing like the full moon is currently rising, sometimes that causes things that are in their shadows to stand out.
Nature for fortune favors the bold, boys. And then I start walking towards where the man descended.
Hurry, I'll cover you. And then I sort of set up right in the shadow of the woods with my 30 caliber rifle covering Denny as he goes across the parking lot.
Denny, what do you got in your hands?
Danny has his brass knuckles in his hands, no gun. Brass knuckles and then a buck knife tucked at the belt.
Okay. Hank and Seamus?
Hank will go with Denny. There's no one around. It's a big, dark parking lot, so I'll just be carrying my 12 gauge.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go with, I'll have my machete in my hand moving forward.
Okay. Hank and Michael do intelligence rolls.
That'll do it, yeah.
I've got a hard success.
Yeah.
Okay. It just occurs to you that just tactically, that firing guns will probably get heard by someone, maybe not right across the street, but they might be heard by some of the suburban areas that are around.
Yeah. They make a hell of a noise.
All right. So Hank and Seamus and Denny, you're approaching. Denny, you went out first. Your feet crunch just a little on the asphalt. You of course avoid any large, broken pieces of glass, and for the most part, it's fairly clean. You start getting closer to it. We'll say that you're within 20 feet of the stairwell. Now, if you imagine the stairwell, here's the building. The stairwell goes this way down. There's a metal railing to keep people from falling into the stairwell. The building is probably brick. It's fairly old. There are no lights, so it's dark. As you approach, you can hear rustling around in the stairwell, like moving things around, like something's doing something down there.
Well, I guess I'll get a little bit closer and listen, and maybe if there's a bit of a break in the noise, just sort of
Do a peek over the edge.
over the railing. Yeah.
I draw my
Okay.
knife while that's happening.
Okay. So Hank, as you approach, you sort of hunker down, get close to the ground so that you can just peek over the edge. What you see, since there's a little bit of moonlight that's shining in the area, you see this mound of something. It's hairy, and it's moving about. It seems to be making a kind of a nest down here, like a, I don't know, trapdoor spider that's making its nest. It's moving stuff around, and but it's not looking up, thank goodness. And it doesn't look, it looks rather hairy where you can see it directly.
More hairy than a person ought to be.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
So I hand signal Hank to, like, go, no go.
I will make a symbol that we have agreed upon that means, yes, there's a monster in here.
Okay. So knife in hand, I'm going to leap over the rail and plunge my knife right into that thing.
All right.
As I
So
can.
tell me what part of the rail. There's the short part against the wall. There's the long part towards the parking lot. Then there's the opening going to the stairwell.
Right. The long part.
Okay. You leap over that. Do a dex roll.
All right. Ooh, 13. So I'll spend 1 luck to make that extreme.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So you leap over it. You land. You barely make a noise when you land. And your knife comes down into the thing's back. When you do, it suddenly rises up with a great deal of force, spins around, and you are looking into the face of this hideous dog-like thing with jowls and massive fangs. Its hands are covered in hair, and it has long fingernails. Hank, you also see this, and the thing screeches in the most ungodly sounding noise that you've ever heard. You can all do sand rolls.
Even me across from the parking lot, just from the noise.
You know now that something shitty is going on. And,
I'll totally do it.
Oh, 65. I just made it.
I made it.
Okay. If you made it, 1 point of damage. If
Ooh.
not, take 2 points of damage.
As it screams, I'm going to start yelling, like screaming litanies and in Latin and stuff like that, like bashment rituals, whatever.
Okay.
I come across the parking lot.
Seamus, what are you doing?
I am charging. I would probably going to charge around the rail too, and kind of try to, if I can get over the rail, try to slash down at this thing, and hopefully land behind Denny.
Okay. I would like you to do a brawl roll.
Brawl. Okay.
Or whatever your machete roll is.
Yeah, that would be brawl. Okay. So I think that's a 1.
001?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay. I got an 18. So
Ooh.
you got a critical. What's your what damage does it do?
This is machete is a 1d8 plus damage bonus. What is my damage bonus? I shouldn't have one. I'm a human.
You could be a big boy.
Down in the bottom corner.
Oh yeah. Plus 1d4. So 1d8 plus 1d4.
You are.
So you get maximum on 1. You got a 1. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus you can roll another 8. You can roll an 8-sided dice.
Shit.
Okay.
You just lopped that thing's head off.
This is not our first monster fight.
Apparently not. Yeah, I'll roll a d8. 1 second.
We're more useful than our Delta Green
I'm
character.
just looking at I'm looking at my character sheet. This guy has a 80 in brawl. So that is a 2 on a d8.
So 14 points of damage. Your machete slices through its shoulder blade right down into its chest. There's a look of vicious anger and horror, but the thing falls back where Denny is. Hank, what are you going to do?
Does this thing look like it's still in good fighting shape?
No, at this point, you've you've practically cleaved it in two. It only has maybe a few more moments to live.
Okay, so then I will not fire around from my shotgun, and if it's still alive, I will bash it with my baton.
Okay, go ahead and do that. It can't put up a resistant fight.
Okay. That's not a success.
Okay, so you hit it, but you don't hit it hard enough. But it collapses into the back. It thrashes around. It swings its ginormous claws at you, and gurgles blood and gore, and then it stops twitching and
I
falls
start
limp.
reciting last rites while that's happening for it.
So
Okay.
what's our standard operating procedure here? We dispatch the threat, and then what do we do? Take it out in the woods and burn it, or what?
Yeah, you can do that. In this case, you have left some things behind just because you had to fire guns in the process and you had to get away quickly. In this case, you've got some time to get rid of it. And the woods are right there.
Can we see the
What
bundle
was that bundle
carrying?
that it was moving though?
Exactly.
You don't see anything in a bundle.
Let's separate it from that nest it was making.
Right.
Okay.
Drag it up from the, stairwell, right, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You drag it up onto the asphalt. It's a strange looking sort of thing. Like some sort of cross between a wolf and a human. Maybe, you think werewolf. But somehow more dog-like than that. It has prodigious claws, and as you are searching through its stuff, you do find an identification card that identifies it as Cleveland. Sorry, what was it? Closed my sheet.
That sounds right. Cleveland sounds right.
Franco.
Cleveland Franco. Only the picture doesn't look, of course, like a monster. It looks like a man. This is an ID. It's not a driver's license.
So, like a state issued ID or like a work ID?
Correct, like a state issued ID.
Okay.
Do we typically take back any proof? Like, do we need to lob off a hand, or what's our MO?
Now, once you've done it, you don't need any proof.
Okay.
And you're kind of convinced that even if you don't get rid of it, people can't see it for what it is. It'll look like a murdered person
If we just leave it.
if you just left it. But best not to raise any questions.
No, we
Can I
don't.
remove my pin to see if the ID then looks like it without the pin, or?
No,
Okay.
it's just a regular ID.
Okay. Oh, like if I remove my pin, do I see him as the face on the ID instead of the monster?
And do a power roll.
Okay.
Because your friends are standing there with you. So
Miss by 1. So
yeah,
no.
I think that you're still under the influence because everybody has those. They keep you protected.
Does this ID have like a residence address on it?
It has an address, but it's probably not his current address. He seems to be a homeless person.
Yeah.
And like you said,
I'm
we don't
still
see the
wondering what that bundle was. Is there any sign of that bundle that he was carrying down there?
There's not. The monster looks like it could have easily maybe consumed whatever was in the bundle, but now it's covered in blood, so
We might have to cut it open to see what's in its guts.
Does
it's
it
open
maybe have
already.
like a pouch, like a kangaroo?
it doesn't.
Okay. Shot in the dark.
What?
Seamus cut half of it open already. Might as well.
Yeah, brought something down here in a bundle.
What else is down here? Just a basement with a nest in it?
It just seems to be like a nest where he was nesting.
I'll use my baton and sort of dig around in the whatever it used as a nest.
There are bits of trinkets, trash, newspapers, things like that.
I use my knife to slice his stomach open.
Okay. He's still, of course, his heart has stopped, but there's still a lot of gore and blood. You're not exactly a surgeon, so it just looks like gore when you're cutting him open.
Right, but no like big pieces of something in the
You
stomach.
don't see anything like that.
Huh? I don't see anything in his stomach.
Where'd the bundle go?
Are you sure you saw a bundle, Hank?
Yeah, it was something wrapped up in like sheets or a blanket, bringing down.
Everybody do a listen roll.
No. I'm too busy searching through the nest, I think, to pay any attention to my ears.
I can spend some points of luck to get it.
Okay. You guys are all examining this, and Hank, you can hear the distinct sound of there's kind of a, well, let me describe exactly the sound. It sounds like a large semi-truck coming up over a curb and its wheels rolling across asphalt. You think that somewhere very nearby, a large truck may have just pulled into a parking lot. It might be just around the corner, and he might be moving towards the back area of the buildings.
All right, stay down, boys. There's a truck coming. Is there a door down here?
There is a door down there, but it is locked. It is a steel door.
Oh.
Are there any tarps, clothes, anything we can throw over the bloody, gory thing?
I guess there's bits and pieces of the nest that's torn up blankets and things like that.
Let me see if any of us particularly good at lock picking.
Why? What's your thought?
You don't have any lock picks.
Oh.
Wait, if this,
Well, let's see. If
we just gotta hide though. If this truck is coming,
right, but in the event that somebody does come down here, say it's, I don't know, like a handyman that works the night shift while whoever's in this building is, not active.
and we give them a pop on the noggin and we get out of here.
Or we just persuade them to look the other way. Again, no need to resort to violence, Michael. Remember, our enemies are the monsters.
Right, but what they're going to see is not a monster. They're going to see us with a dead homeless man that looks like we just killed it.
And blood all over you.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
What is the truck coming into the parking lot? I want to go up the stairway and just kind of peek out.
Well, you guys already dragged the body out of the stairwell and up onto the asphalt. That's where you are. So if it comes around the corner, it's going to, well, it might not see you instantly, but it's going to have truck lights.
Oh, but we're exposed.
You're exposed.
Maybe we should
Is
just
there any
scatter.
way we can get to the woods, or is it too far?
You're all dressed in black. Just move away from the light. You should be able to get to the woods easily enough.
So
We've got this body. We're just going to leave this body here?
It'll just look like a hobo.
I'm curious, if we were to lift this body up, are we lifting the weight of the monster or the weight of the man?
Well, it feels like it probably weighs about 120 pounds.
Between 4 people, that's not. All right, boys.
Grab him and get to the tree line.
One
Okay,
arm
we do.
each.
We do.
You have an old Chrysler, which you have parked not in this parking lot, but in a parking lot through the woods in another part of town. You know, it's not far. It's maybe 300 feet away, but you have to cross through the woods to get to it. All right, I'm gonna have, who's got the lowest luck?
49.
It's now 40.
50.
You do. So Hank,
All right.
luck roll.
52.
Okay. So you grab the body. The four of you grab the body, maybe a limb each,
Mm-hmm.
and you lift it up and you start running. As you can see the light from the headlights of the truck shining in between the buildings, getting brighter as this truck is coming. You're pretty sure that as the truck driver pulls into the parking lot and then turns to go behind the building, that the headlights go right on to you for a moment. And if he was looking, he saw you guys running into the woods carrying a body. And you're pretty sure in the next 5 minutes, he's going to discover a blood-soaked area. What do you guys want to do?
I think if we
Shit, I
just-
think he saw us.
I mean, he's going to. I mean, if he's going to even make a call,
What's he doing here, anyways?
I don't know. But the thing is, we've got some time because he can't let out an alert. I mean, he has to get into a building and use a phone and make a call. And I mean, we've got some time to get out of here.
So get in the car, get out.
Mm.
What are you going to do with the body?
What do you do with the body?
Do we normally have tarps and stuff like that in the car? Like, because we're used to cleaning up and things like that, aren't we?
No, not usually. I mean,
Okay.
you might have some things in the front seat to sit on, but they're not, because you've gotten blood on you before.
Mm.
It's
We could
now
just leave the
probably about
body.
11 p.m.
Yeah, because I thought the whole point about the pins was so we could see them, we could see what they really are. But without the pin, it's just going to look like a person.
Some
So,
hobo. Yeah.
right. So let's just leave it.
All right, let's get out. Let's get out before they can make our plates.
So you're going to drop the body in the woods?
Yes.
You guys look at
Might as
me every
well.
time I say something
Yes.
like, what's he trying to tell us?
All right, boys, drop the body. Get out.
All right.
All right.
Who's good at driving? Who's our normal driver?
Who normally drives?
I'm 25, so probably not.
You guys tell me.
I'll drive.
Me.
All right, Hank.
So you get in your Chrysler, which is it's a black Chrysler, so that it doesn't show up much. And you begin your drive. You guys are a little bloody from the thing. You start to drive. You all say certain prayers that you've been used to saying afterwards. You have to drive all the way back to Maine, which is where that's where you were. Sorry, upstate New York,
Daily.
which is where the monastery is. So it takes you a good maybe 3 hours to drive back. You go through some more some larger areas, and then you end up in the woods. And out into the woods you go. Civilization starts to leave you behind. The monastery is rather secluded. The monks liked it that way. There are no monks living there now. And you pull up the drive into through the gate into the monastery compound. There are a number of old buildings. Most of them are no longer used. There is a low building, a one-story building where your bedrooms and things are. There's a living area, kitchen, places like that. And you can see that there is a kerosene lantern in the window. The monastery doesn't have electricity.
Okay.
Pull in.
What's our
We should find the father.
O'Leary?
Father
Father,
O'Leary,
Yes.
Father, yeah, O'Leary.
and be absolved of this taint on our souls.
Tell him what happened.
Report back.
All right. So you park the car, you get out, you go through like a little alcove up to the door. It's a big, heavy wooden door. You open up the door. The living room, like I see, is lit by a couple of kerosene lanterns. Father O'Leary is sitting in a big, comfy-looking chair, and he is snoring away.
I give
Father,
my
Father.
tap on the shoulder.
What? Oh, hi. Oh, you're back.
Yes, we are, Father.
Oh, my God. I'm so tired. Ah,
We're sorry to wake you, Father.
how did it go?
The mother will said we did what we needed to.
Well, I'm sorry that you're having to go through this, boys, but you're doing the world a great service by removing all these monsters from the world.
It is for the greater good, Father. We understand.
Denny, do we'll call it a spot hidden roll.
Ooh, I'm actually good at this. 36, which is let's see,
You
I'm
just have to
75. So yeah,
you can tell he's been drinking a bit.
That's normal.
Not that
There's
unusual,
nothing wrong
yeah.
with
we're
that.
Irish. We're fine.
Nothing wrong
Yeah.
with a little bit of whiskey now and then.
With the horse Father
Father, we
has to
think
deal
someone
with.
might have seen us.
Oh, good,
Oh,
good,
boys,
good,
you
Michael,
don't
yeah.
want nobody to see you. What happened
We
that they
didn't want
saw you?
anybody to see us. But we think somebody might have seen us.
They couldn't have made out a good description because of the way we were dressed, and it was nighttime, but we briefly were flashed in somebody's headlights as we entered the woods.
We were trying to move the body, Father, like you taught us.
I see.
What
I
do you think
see.
they were doing there?
They could work there.
Probably a night delivery of some sort.
Who makes night deliveries at a place like that?
And it was a monster, Father. It has the face of an evil hound.
And we think it had some sort of a baby or something. We couldn't find it.
Oh, faith preserve us.
There was, that was an interesting fold. I clearly saw it go down into a stairwell to bed down for the night and bring down something wrapped in a bundle, sort of like a swaddle. But after we dispatched it and looked around a little bit, I could find no evidence of what it brought down there.
Oh, that's a shame. It would have been perhaps another brother for you, an orphan stolen from its family. But thank God you killed it at least.
We killed it real good, Father.
Well,
Seamus cleaved this, head almost half off.
my
And it was
goodness,
nice and quiet, too.
I don't need to know all of the details, the rather gory details.
We're sorry, Father.
God bless you, buddies. Boys, buddies. God bless you, boys.
A little excited.
Yeah.
May God forgive you your sins.
So I'm going to whisper, Father, later on, I have a confession.
All right, my boy. But can it wait until morning? I'm
Always,
exhausted.
Father,
I'm tired.
always.
I'm going to have to do some shopping tomorrow, boys. But I'll have breakfast ready when you wake up in the morning.
Bless you.
Now, go get some sleep. Wash up first. Do your hygiene like good boys. And he
So
says,
Danny's
I'm
gonna go-
going to bed.
Clean up the knife, oil the knife, like the usual maintenance work.
There is some soup on the stove in case you were hungry when you got back.
We're always hungry. Monster killing's hard work.
Yeah,
So,
I tuck into a bowl of stew.
So as we're eating, I'm going to mention, boys, I'm having those dreams again. I told you the dreams of those lights, that laughter. I don't know what's going on.
It's hard. I've been having some night terrors lately myself.
Oh, we're all haunted. Why don't you grow a pair, Denny?
Better us than the people. Better we be haunted and cursed, Michael. But yes,
What do you see?
Right.
I just hear laughter everywhere, and balls of. It's the same every time. It's just lights and noise.
I have these similar ones like I've told you about before. It's just all these people everywhere, but they don't have faces, not a one. I
Maybe that's the price of the things we do, Hank. That's the price of our sins.
think you're right. I think a lot of what we do weighs a lot on the mind.
But it's for the greater good.
It is
The greater good.
the greater good.
And for the mother. All right, and I'm gonna soup some more.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you guys want to do before you go to bed?
Say my prayers.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw myself a bath and soak for a bit, let my muscles relax, and I guess put my dirty clothes in the wash pile, I guess, and
Right. You want to take care of the hygiene.
mhm.
Yeah, I'll take a shower and read a book before I go to bed.
I'm going to do a little drinking.
You actually don't have any books. You
Like
are
at all.
like at all.
Do
Like
we
even
know
a
how to
Bible?
read?
You don't have newspapers. You don't have books. The monastery was pretty much cleaned out of everything before you arrived. It had been abandoned by the monks before you, so there's very little here. When you moved in, it's just that you kept it that way. So you have your prayers, you have your training, you have meals, and you have monster hunting.
Hank's gonna put on his nightcap, those real long triangular shaped ones, and pour himself a nightcap.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no books, I guess I'll do some training in the training room with the machete for a little bit, just to
Okay.
tire myself out.
Now
a little
realize
further.
that you guys are really tired, and it was a 3-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
You drove from Maine to New York.
I'm going to keep reciting the litanies, praise the mother, etc., etc.
Okay. Yeah, don't forget to
Yeah.
say your prayers, boys.
I'm going to have a couple of glasses and then off to bed.
All right. Just a second. All right. I would like you all get into bed eventually. You all fall asleep. Almost all your missions, well, all of your missions have been at night. So you all you're used to sleeping in until you wake up. The days you spend here, like I say, training or whatever. I would like each of you to do a willpower roll, a power roll.
Well, it's a hard success for me.
12 under 65, so extreme.
The regular success.
Regular for me.
Okay. So, let's see. So Michael, you slowly drift off to sleep, and your dreams that same sort of weird, blurry dream starts to occur in your mind. It seems
Ooh.
like you are in a fairly bright place, but there's lots of shadows. And it feels like maybe you are in a city, but it's indistinct because there's lots of rectangles, gray rectangles going up, the sunlight hitting some of them. And they seem gigantic, these sort of things all around you, but everything is a little blurry, and there's some strange noises around you, and off in the distance there's something moving towards you. It's kind of a blob at first, but it seems to be forming itself into some sort of anamorphic human-like shape as it drifts towards you. It's completely blank. There's nothing here. It's just smooth. And it begins to reach out its hands towards you. And you suddenly start to wake. You suddenly start to wakefulness. Joe, let's see. Seamus.
I haven't had that dream before.
Seamus, you are in a harshly lit corridor of some sort. It's long. It's oddly colored, like maybe it's painted blue. It's very rectangular, but the floor is polished. It's white with black things embedded in it. And there seems to be a gray railing going around the walls, but there's something down the hall like a window. And as you approach it, the light from the window is shining in. You have terrible feelings of anxiety as you're approaching the window. And just as you turn to look out the window, you also wake up suddenly in your bed. Let's see, Billy, Denny. You are in a dark place, and there seem to be things floating around above you. You look up, there are these strange colored globes that hang in the air above you. Down below you, it's dark, but something moves towards you in a very startling sort of manner. And these limbs, like doll hands, reach up out of the darkness and begin to grab a hold of your clothing and pull you down into the darkness below. There's a strange noise, a tittering sort of laughter that's wafting around, and you suddenly start to wake.
I snarl, "The mother protects!"
And finally, who else? Did I do everybody?
No.
I think so.
Hank. Did I do you, Hank? I lost track. Hank, you're in the dark. There is some sort of a portal in front of you. It's dimly lit. You open up this portal, and it's dark. it's very dark inside. And as you step in, there suddenly is a bright flash of light. There's fire, and the fire is coming towards you. And there's this high-pitched screeching noise that goes right through your head like a painful sort of horn. And you wake up. You all wake up around the same time to the smell of bacon.
Do we all sleep in the same room, or do we have different?
No, you all have your own rooms. They're small. You can touch both sides of the walls with your hands. The beds are made of plywood, and they have just a thin foam mattress. It's hardly a mattress. It's just a piece of foam that's been sewed up in a sheet. You have a place on the wall where you can hang your clothes.
I
start
fell
making my
asleep.
bed.
What's that?
I say to the other guys when we come out for
Yeah.
breakfast, how'd you fall asleep?
Like ship?
Sing
I did
every
not
night,
sleep
Michael.
well.
Not good at all.
It must be last night's experience.
I'd say
It taints our soul.
I suppose if we weren't bothered by it, that would be a bigger problem.
That's a good point, Seamus.
At least we have a soul to be darkened. And I smell bacon.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can
make
hear
my
you
bed and
stirring
everything.
around back there, boys. Come and get some breakfast.
Yes, father. And start running like I was a 12-year-old.
This is now, Denny, you're here first. You set the table.
Yes, father.
Ah. Isn't that our first breakfast with the father?
yeah, we walk slow on purpose. So Denny,
Yeah.
has-
Father, we had terrible dreams. We normally have terrible dreams, but last night I had a terrible, terrible dream.
Well, you shouldn't
it-
believe anything in dreams. They're just fantasies. They're not real. They're tricks by the devil.
I guess that just comes with the territory, eh, Father? Hunting monsters and dreaming terrible dreams.
Indeed, indeed. Now just
in the
calm yourself down and sit down at the table. We've got eggs and bacon and toast.
So then he starts laying out all the plates, getting all the bacon, stuff like that, putting all the, utensils out, things like that. Do we have coffee or is it like water?
No, he's got coffee.
Okay, good.
He tells you, boys, at one point in the history of the world, the Pope banned coffee for Catholics.
Why, father?
He did it because it was made by the Turks, and the Turks were Muslims, and he didn't like the Muslims, so he banned the use of coffee. And that was for many centuries until apparently the Pope tasted some of it
Well, I'm glad he was.
and lifted the ban.
His wisdom is beyond measure.
You mean his
All right,
hypocrisy?
well, eat your coffee. I mean, eat your meal.
Get that under my breath.
So, boys, I'm going to have to go into town and get some supplies. We're running low. He says, I want you to clean up the kitchen, clean the where we're living here, the living quarters. And I'll be back in a couple of hours. You can do your training. And then I will give you your next assignment.
Do you need help with all the supplies, father? Should one of us come with you to?
No, it's best in case if you were seen or anyone saw you or somehow managed to get a photo of you, that you stay here, stay sequestered, and one day our job will be done, and we will be done with this job. But for
Yes,
now,
Father.
you need to stay here and unseen in the daylight.
We understand, father. Yes, father.
All right, so I'll be off. And
Get to cleaning.
he says, you're all good boys. See you later. And he goes out and gets in the Chrysler. off he goes.
All right, let's start doing the dishes.
Yeah, we're just doing our regular stuff.
I'll wipe down the table.
Hopefully, with some experience, these dreams will get easier.
I mean, it's been, what, 10 years? 15 years since our last hunt, Michael? It just seems like the dreams just keep getting worse. Last night.
Actually, Denny, now that you think about it, it hasn't been that long. You can remember at least 2 other incidents that took place, but they took place maybe in the last week or so. Beyond that, maybe it's because you go to confession, you confess your sins, and he tells you to not think about it, that you purposefully purge it from your mind. But before that, it doesn't seem very clear. The 2 things that you can remember is a few nights ago, you went after somebody. You're trying to remember his name. You think it was Edward Hessett. You had to drive all the way to Vermont. The thing that was Edward Hessett was posing as a librarian. But when you got close to it, it was like an insect or a crab-like entity. It had large red claws and a sort of weird brain thing on its head. And when you killed it, it seemed to evaporate. The other one was different still. It seemed to be, it was another fellow named Jordan Domner. And it was, you're not sure what it was posing as, but it was at an apartment in New Hampshire. You had to drive all the way to New Hampshire to do it. You don't have words for what this thing was, but it was not like anything you'd ever seen. It was an imposter. It was obviously an imposter. Its skin was different. Its facial features were different, maybe spider-like. But those things both affected all of you in the same way that the one last night did. It was traumatic and terrifying, and you were glad to sort of purge it out of your mind. Before that, you're not sure. You don't remember. Maybe there were things, but you've tried not to remember them.
So as Denny, talked, it's been, 15 years, the words sort of die in his mouth. And he looks down at his, callous hands. Clearly they're callous from, long years of work. And he's suddenly thinking about everything. And he mentions to everyone, boys, has it been long? I mean, I remember Hessett and Dominer, but not before. It must be. It must be the sin that we have on me. How long has it been, Hank?
How long have we been doing this?
Yes, Michael. I don't remember. My hand tells me it's been long, but my mind.
Seamus, Michael, and Hank can do intelligence rolls.
It's a success.
So if you succeeded, I mean, what you can remember more clearly is your time together in the Army. You were in World War II. You were young. Pretty much you came out of the orphanage directly into the military. You fought in that, and then you left. And it was sometime after that that the church approached you, and that you've been living here since then. But the sense of time is off. I mean, you don't remember clearly.
Did we all serve in the same unit?
Yes.
I mean, Denny, it's been a while, but really not as long as you'd think. It feels like a long time, but
I mean, it's all going to blur together anyways, the stuff that we do. This line of work, it's going to get fuzzy.
there's no normal engagements against which to judge what we do. So I think the way we kind of rationalize it is a little odd.
That's right. What we do is God's work, son.
No, you boys are right. You boys are right. It's just my mind. Now, Hank, Michael, Seamus, my brothers, you boys are right.
So you guys are cleaning the kitchen. And then where are you going from there? I mean, you're supposed to clean the whole living area.
Yeah, I think we just do the routine, sort of. I mean, if we've been here for a little while, I'm sure that it just sort of defaults into chores that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing really seems to be out of the ordinary, I think.
Hank will make his bed, maybe sweep the
Right?
house.
Right? The father has left us here before. He's gone into town before. Sometimes he's gone for a little while. It's all right.
I'm going to do some upkeep around, if there's hedges that need trimming, roofs that need, roofing.
Okay. Somebody doing vacuuming. Oh wait,
Yeah.
there's no electricity.
I'll sweep.
Sweeping.
Sweep.
Yeah, I'll sweep
right.
the halls and everything.
All right. So as you guys are doing this, the day is taking an excruciating amount of time to pass, as it always seems to. Seamus, as you are sweeping, you come to Father O'Leary's room.
Okay.
And you all know that you've all suspected that something about Father O'Leary getting this particular assignment is not what most priests would look forward to. So he's not exactly, the most disciplined individual, as you found him drinking quite a bit last night. You get into his room and his bed's not made. And there's this place is dusty. So you're cleaning around his room. I'd like you, Seamus, to do a spot hidden for me.
All right. I will spend 3 luck to turn that into a hard success.
Okay, you don't need to do that. Just
Okay.
if you've succeeded, then you're fine. So you're tidying up his room. You do find a bottle of whiskey that's half drunk in there.
We'll keep that.
Normal.
No, you would never think of stealing anything. You just put it back where it belongs.
It's not stealing. I'm saving Father from himself.
Okay.
You're giving of
moving it.
yourself. You're sacrificing yourself.
So you're drowning him if you're taking away the whiskey.
You're making his bed, and in the process of making his bed, there seems to be something wedged between his bed and the wall in his room. And in order to make the bed, to put the covers in, to tuck them, you have to reach down and you have to pull it out. And what you pull out is this: a dime store novel.
Okay. Strangers on a train. Okay.
He hasn't let you guys read anything, and he has this little book tucked away.
Oh, the little devil.
Well, you don't know
So-
it, Michael. It's Seamus who's found it. So
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I wanted to read last night, and he doesn't let us read, and I guess he's been leading us to believe there are no books anywhere,
right.
or at least in the air. Okay, so I'll kind of thumb through it to see what would what's so special about this book that he's going to break his own rule.
All right. So you're standing there for a few moments reading. You can probably read the back cover and it'll give you some idea of the book. It's a sordid little story about two men who meet while they're on a train ride. And both of them are unhappy in their marriages. So they figure out a way that they will murder each other's spouses. That way, nobody will suspect. Each of them will be sure to have an alibi while the other one murders his spouse. And that way, they can't be blamed at all for the spouse's murder. And then they will quid pro quo. They'll do it for the other one as well. So it's not the kind of thing you'd expect a priest to be reading. And it looks like it's pretty well worn. What do you
Okay.
do? You are still by yourself.
So yeah, I'm looking through it. I mean, like, do I see any like things like used as bookmarks? Do I see anything circled? Do I see, and has it been
Nothing.
tampered with any?
Nothing.
So I'm kind of curious what else I'm going to find. Can I continue to look? Because if he has his book, maybe he has more books.
All right. So you start to search through his room. Hank and Michael, you guys are still in the house cleaning. Do a spot hidden roll.
Oh, that ain't gonna be it.
Okay. So you guys don't notice that Seamus has gone in there and he hasn't come out for a while. Denny, you're outside clipping the hedges. Do a spot hidden for me.
32 under 75.
Okay.
I see a lot.
So as you're clipping the things, you're coming along, you get to the window where Father O'Leary's room is, and you suddenly look up right into the eyes of Seamus, who's in there looking at this book.
I knock the sort of the handle of the shears against the window. Bah, 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 bah.
Which Seamus
Seamus!
makes you jump.
And I'm just like,
And I just eyeballing him. What are you doing in there, Seamus? This is Father O'Leary's room.
I'm cleaning. I'm cleaning.
Wait,
Like,
what do you have in your hands? Wait, is that underlined or highlighted?
no, it's just he has a book in here.
Book? There's no books on here.
So when he says that, I'm just like,
All right, I'm gonna drop the shears and then walk into where he is.
can I just like pull him up through the window, or is it too tall?
No, it's too tall.
Okay.
All right. Do I see any of the boys while I'm walking in?
Yeah, you
What's
walk
the
in. You see
hubbub,
them both
bub?
cleaning.
Seamus found a book.
Oh, book. What?
Where?
I don't know why he's in the father's room, but he's in the father's room.
Man, you a snitch.
Just tidying up. the book.
Confession is good for the soul, Seamus.
Seamus, are you living?
Bad for the body.
Where'd you find a book? Whoa! Hot tamales! Look at this cover.
Is that a decent book, Seamus?
It just seems like a weird story about like two men who are unhappy with their marriages, and they're on a train, so they agree to kill each other's spouses and make each other's alibi. It's nothing like,
Dirty.
it's just nothing dirty. It's just a story.
Well, you didn't read through it. You don't know if there are dirty parts in it, but it seems kind of unwholesome.
You found this in a
It seems lurid.
I'm glad the monsters that we fight are easier to see. These monsters, I mean, killing their wives?
Oh, wait a minute. Tap it with the pin.
Ah,
Nothing happens.
Where did
You
you
guys are
find,
wearing your pins, so
you found this in the father's room?
Well, question: Are we always wearing our pins? Is that like a
it's
mandate?
part of
Like we
it's
should
part
be
of
wearing it?
it's part of your. It's like wearing a cross or wearing a St. Christopher's medal. You're always wearing it.
do we
Interesting.
notice anything weird about it based on our clarity skill? Nothing unusual about the book or anything else?
Mm-mm.
I don't sense anything weird about it. The father must be doing research against unholy.
Research,
Oh, he's a-
really?
Nobody's perfect.
Look.
Maybe when he went out for supplies one time, he picked that book off the shelf at the till, and I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but he
Look,
said
we
we're
were-
not allowed to have books.
We were in the war. I was in France.
That was
Give the father a little.
That's before now. We're different people now, Michael. That's the before times.
Did you feel like a different person last night?
What do you mean, Seamus?
No, exactly what I mean.
like our dreams.
When we took down that thing?
Seems like we went from killing one monster to the other.
For the greater good.
That's what we do.
Remember,
that's-
to allow
that's what
a
we
monster
do.
to live is to share in his sin, Seamus.
What are you getting at, Seamus?
Nothing. I don't even know where that came from.
It's okay, brother.
I just feel like he said he said that, we're different people, but we're still killing.
Well, I mean, we're ridding the world of evil and pestilence and monsters.
It's like the sin eaters of old. We take on sin
We're not
to save the
killing.
world.
We're hunting.
Yeah, but did that thing seem evil? Was it doing something evil when we found it?
Yeah, it was a fucking monster. Did you see it? You're making this complicated.
Maybe.
It's been a long few days, Seamus. Let's put the book back where we found it so the father doesn't and
That's
continue
right.
our chores.
That's right. Forgive the old man. Put the book back.
You know he adores us. He's a good man.
He takes care of us.
I think we should all have a little glass of whiskey for this.
Yes.
I wouldn't be opposed.
We talked into that.
And that way the father
we
has
know where
less
that
to
is.
drink.
That's not hid.
All right. So after about an hour and a half or so, you guys, whatever you're doing, if you're training or if you're working together, you hear the sound of the wheels on the drive coming back, and the black Chrysler pulls into the place where you guys park it, and you hear the door open in the Chrysler, and Father O'Leary's voice yelling out. He's like, "Come on, boys, I got groceries."
Yes,
Down
father.
we go.
Come out and help him bring it in.
So you know where to put that. You put that in the ice box, since we don't have a refrigerator. And I got some fresh eggs and some more stuff.
Some taters.
Let's go in for a few minutes before lunch, and we'll start cooking. I have an assignment for you.
Another one so soon, father.
Yeah, kind of unusual, but it needs to be done.
I want to hear all about it.
If the mother wills it, we will do what needs to be done.
So he takes you in. You guys put the groceries away. He says, "Well, you've done a fine job cleaning up in here." He says, "So tonight, I'm going to need you to leave in time so that you can drive to Talwich, Massachusetts. So that's going to take you a few hours. He gives you an address and he says, this one's a female, or posing to be a female. Her name is Jane Richmond. And we believe that her last 3 husbands were done away with in an unusual capacity. She may be the most dangerous one of the group that you've had so far. So be careful. Now, she is currently with someone, married, I believe. He's innocent. He doesn't know.
How can he not know?
Now, Michael, you know the way this works. These monsters infiltrate. That we have to keep this all a secret, because if the world were to find out that there are monsters walking amongst them, why, they'd lose their minds.
Yes, Father.
Do we
Yeah,
know
this-
anything about this monster? Weaknesses, vulnerabilities, allergies, anything, Father?
We don't know enough. Whatever she is, she's kept herself well hidden and well camouflaged. But the church has done a great deal of research into it, as you know they always do. Once again, though, make sure that she is something and not just an accident. You're the ones who can see. You have the clarity. So let's fix something for eating, and then we can sit around. I see you've been clipping the hedges. Good.
Yes, Father.
Good.
Cleanliness is next to godliness.
We might as well spruce the place up as long as we're staying here.
On that note, Father, maybe after this hunt we can get some things for the house, maybe newspapers, just reading material.
We don't have a lot of money, you know. We're just barely scraping by, but I'll see what we can do.
Yes, Father.
And now, if you'll excuse me, you clean up afterwards and start planning how you're going to get there and when you should leave.
So what do we know about this lady? Like, she got a job? Anything else about her?
Only what he told you. She lives in a small cottage in Talwich, Massachusetts. She presents herself as wealthy, at least her and her husband. It sounds like a classic, Black Widow sort of situation, except there's something more than that.
Sure.
We don't know what it is, but they want us to go there and make sure.
Yeah, they don't know exactly what it is either, but
So-
they highly suspect that it is one of these things.
So what caused them to want to investigate in the first place?
You don't know. I mean, they're not in the habit of explaining everything to you.
How did the other 3 husbands die, Father?
Who can say? I'm limited also in what I've been told.
Yes, Father.
Okay.
Well, it's quite a drive, lads. We should get going.
Yep. We'll top off on gas, grab whatever we might need, and head out there.
And maybe this time let's get a tarp or something for the back of the car in case we need to move the body.
Well, we moved the body just fine.
Well, but without blood all over the car.
Now, don't you be bringing
Sure,
back
we'll get
no
it done.
body. You get rid of it if you have to.
Yes, Father.
How you feeling, Seamus?
Is it the bacon and eggs not sitting well with you?
Yeah. Yeah, I prefer thick cut bacon.
Delicious.
So
Does anyone else kind of feel did the father step away?
yeah, he's gone back towards his room.
Does anyone else feel like these eggs are a little too scrambled, if you catch my meaning?
I
What are you
mean,
trying to say?
3 scrambled eggs is not enough for a meal.
Well, come out with it then, boy.
They don't know why.
Well, no, the father doesn't know why, but need to know. You remember the missions in the war. How often are we told why?
Okay.
But I agree with you. If this thing is as dangerous as the father says, perhaps we should do a bit more research, make sure we understand what it is, confirm that it is a threat.
Except we ain't in the research business, lads. We're in the hunting business.
Right, but we have to hunt monsters, not humans. That is another department's affair. So at least confirm
Look,
what
if
it
you're
is.
if you're having doubts, just take the little pin off. If she looks like a lady, no, keep the pin on. If she looks like a lady, we'll leave her alone. But the pin gives us the clarity of sight, lads. It'll reveal itself to be a monster.
Tom, where did we get these pins, and like, what's the deal behind that? Because we couldn't always see the monsters. So what?
They were given to you when you were indoctrinated into this faction of the Catholic Church.
And have we worn these pins since that day?
Yes. Wearing the pins doesn't seem unusual, and you're Catholic, you're going to wear something.
So on the different times where we've seen these things, do we all see the same thing?
Yes.
Like everyone saw the same wolf facing last night. Okay.
Correct.
I think we should be cautious because we've been told this is a dangerous foe. So we'll proceed accordingly. But to Michael's point, go we must for the mother.
You mean for Mother Mary?
No, for the great mother.
Who's a greater mother than Mother Mary?
Magna Mater, our great mother.
Oh, is that the order? Oh,
That's
thanks.
the order.
Thanks for the reminder.
Wink, wink.
Tom, I got a question. Have any of our past monsters that we've hunted, have they always been that quick and clean? And
No.
So have they ever put up like a real good fight and we've gotten pretty hurt bad? And
Yeah, last night's was really remarkably easy. The insect thing was quite difficult, and it had multiple arms, and you did get. I mean, you've all been injured in places. You've got scars. If
Do
you
we
look
remember
on your-
other brothers?
No.
Or has it always been the 4 of us?
You're a separate cell.
Okay.
No, last night you guys rolled really well, so you did really well. That machete did great. That was a lot of damage all at once. All right, so you've had lunch. When do you want to leave?
How long's a ride in general or drive?
I'm going to say probably a 4-hour drive. It's probably longer, but 4 hours works.
Well, we would want to get there late enough that there's not a lot of people that might drive by. You know what I mean? Because I know they're in a cottage. So they're probably not in the middle of like a metropolitan area, but we also don't want people who might see us coming or going. You know what I mean? We don't want to leave any trace.
You're thinking of doing
Yeah,
it
we
tonight.
should case the resident before we do anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, we can sleep in the car if we need to.
So you're suggesting you drive down early, stake the place out, and then wait
Maybe-
until dark.
Some
Uh,
pattern from this lady. When if she goes to work, when she goes to work.
Let's just go down. Look, we're hunting. We'll just go down and set up, just watch.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. So you get a blessing from the Father, and he tells you to be careful, keep your heads low, keep your weapons sharp, and make him proud.
Yes, Father.
All right. So you get in your car and you start to drive. You don't have GPS, so you guys have maps, which you look at and consult to find your way. It's going to be a long drive.
When were freeways put in? Were freeways pre?
I don't know. Don't ask me those questions.
Got it.
Like the interstate system was in response to World War II, because all those highways.
Yeah, it was envious of Germany's road system.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
you're right.
perhaps they're
So
fairly
about
new.
this time. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're meant to be. You're supposed to be able to land planes on all highways. They're supposed to double as airports in a pinch.
Yep.
And that's happened. But you've left early. You did mention filling up with gas. So
Can we get an extra thing of gas in case we need to,
you mean like a 5-gallon
Yeah.
thing of gas?
And some
Yeah,
rags.
back then people just had metal cans in their back trunks. So you drive out and you stop at the gas station. But you've got a ways to go, but it's way early.
Can I buy a newspaper at the gas station? Like, did they have convenience stores?
You can. Maybe there's a few quarters in the car. I'd say in the cup holder, but I don't think they have cup holders yet.
And go in and get a newspaper and see if
Okay.
there's any mention of what we did last night, like any murder or whatever.
So you're going to go in and get a newspaper.
Well, I mean, we're filling up gas anyways,
Right.
and paying for it. Yeah.
So who's filling up the gas?
I'll do it.
That's true. You probably do have a few dollars to buy gas. So Hank, you're doing the gas. What are Michael and Seamus doing? Other than sitting in the back seat.
No, let's go in. It's 1951. Let's get some cigarettes and candy. I mean, that's what everybody did. Smoke cigarettes and ate candy. So
You can't remember the last time you had a cigarette either.
I mean, they fortify the lungs, so they're good for our training.
Strike means fine tobacco. It's toasted.
wait, I can't remember the last time I had a cigarette.
Mm-mm.
That's odd, isn't it?
And they're even safer because they have filters now.
Exactly. Whoa, that's fancy.
All right. So
Brought to you
go
by
inside.
Marlboro.
You also haven't had candy in a long time that you can remember. So you go in. Welcome, folks.
Hey there. Filling
How
up
are
on
you?
gas, getting some things.
Well, if there's anything that you need, give me a holler and I'll help you.
Yeah,
Hey,
hey, like a
folks.
newspaper?
You folks, yeah, here's the newspapers right here.
Oh,
You guys traveling?
oh yeah, road trip.
Yeah, we're getting out of town for a little while.
Well, that's nice.
Have we met this guy before? Because I imagine we travel around this area, gas stations.
No, you've done exactly the opposite. You don't want to be recognized, so you always go to different gas stations.
Oh, so this is a new gas station we haven't been
correct.
to. Okay.
With a little convenience store next
Yeah.
to it. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. And then pay in.
I'd like you to do a spot hidden while you're here.
The two of us?
Well, if you're inside the store.
Well, that
20
might have made it.
25 under 75, so I'm fine.
I make it a regular
Okay.
success.
You
13.
notice you notice as you are in there is a circular wire rack near the front that has dime store novels in it, and Strangers on a Train is one of them. In fact, it's the same one with that purple cover.
Are they cheap?
Yeah, they're probably 25 cents.
What are
Do
you
I
looking
have-
at, Michael?
Do I have a quarter on me?
Yeah, probably.
I buy it. And give it to Seamus on the way out. Here you go,
Yes.
lad.
I suppose it's better than him taking Father O'Leary's copy. Good thinking, Michael.
All right. Anything
Yeah,
else
so-
before you get back in the car?
Sounds good. I got candy and smokes for all of us. I got some soda pop.
Yeah. While Hank's driving, I have newspapers for us.
Anything?
And then are you going to drive somewhere and take a break or eat a snack, or you had candy?
Do we get cars?
Are we thinking of doing a straight? Now we'll drive for a couple hours and stretch our legs, and then we have the address, we have maps. We're going to want to show up early and just watch for a little while, or drop a couple of guys off and watch. We don't even know what the area is like.
I mean, we'll get there by noon, right? Or should we by about 2 or 3 p. About 5 or
Something
6
like
p.m.
that.
Yeah, 5 or 6.
Yeah, it'll
p.m.
still be sunlight.
So
All
I
right.
don't think we do a lot of lingering. I think we probably
You get there.
get there, yeah, without too much fuss.
Okay. Seamus, what are you going to do with the book?
I mean, I have time. We're driving. I'm going to read
Hank
it.
is driving. All right.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna
would
read.
like Seamus then to do a constitution roll.
Oh,
Just kind of throwing up on the car.
do I get car sick?
Who's sitting where? Who else is in the front seat?
Shotgun.
Right. So Denny and Hank are in the front seat.
18 under 50, so hard.
Okay. So you're fine. You're sitting in the back reading it. It's an interesting little story, but it seems just kind of drama. Doesn't seem to be anything. There don't seem to be any messages or anything in it.
Do I notice anything in the newspaper around our recent?
You're looking in the newspaper. Okay, those of you who are looking in the newspaper. It seems mundane. There's all sorts of things in it. You don't see anything about a murder.
Like none of the past 3 that we recall.
No, nothing like that. Of course, it's a newspaper from a different area. than
Right.
if
They
it
wouldn't be
took
in there
place.
anyways.
Unless it's national news, that's fair.
Right. Denny, do a spot hidden roll.
55 under 75, pass.
You are looking in the newspaper, and there are some off-brand articles. There are things about things going in place. There's a picture of the president and his family of the United States, and it looks like they're having some sort of a party at the White House. Do a power roll.
So I'm seeing Harry. Which president is it? Harry Truman?
Okay.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Hey, I'm the Canadian here, all right. Ooh, 28 under 65, so pass.
Okay. Something about the picture. It makes your head kind of hurt
Oh,
as you're
Harry
looking
Truman's
at the
face.
picture.
Oh,
It's not Harry Truman's face. It's the kids in the picture, and
my head.
yeah, it feels really strange. You feel kind of lightheaded, but it's
Hank, slow down.
It's
Slow
not
down.
a weird. It's a weird sort of lightheadedness.
What's going on up there?
Oh, my head. Oh, I just look. I'm just reading the news, and Oh, my head. Oh,
What do you do, Hank?
Quit reading the news.
I'll slow down a little bit. Maybe it's time to stretch our legs by this point.
Okay. You
Sure.
are
Let's
at
get
the
some
moment
coffee.
kind of away from everything. There are woods around you. There's a stretch of road. There's not much traffic. There's a few little pullouts on the side. And you do need a walkabout, you know. You probably need to pee.
I just start looking at, this article and I, show them the Truman picture. My head is just, oh.
So the rest of you who look at the newspaper do a spot hidden.
The kids in the back, they're just, oh, my head.
Ooh, that's a hard.
Ooh, that's a fail.
Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a fail.
Okay. How'd you do, Hank?
I failed.
Okay.
I'm the only one that saw it.
Yeah, Michael. You're the only one that. Well, you all saw it. For Michael, you look at the picture and you look at it rather strongly, but there's nothing really in it that it certainly doesn't make your head hurt. But you can't fathom any reason why Denny is having this weird reaction as he's looking at the picture.
Right.
So you've stepped out. You probably are smoking your cigarettes.
Eating my candy, drinking my
Your
soda
candy.
pop.
Taking a pee over behind a tree. Denny, what are you doing?
I'm just going to get a cigarette from Michael, just to
Okay.
calm my nerves. Not look at that anymore because clearly I'm getting car sick or something.
Yeah, but when you look away from the newspaper, you feel fine. When you look at the newspaper, something bothers the hell out of you. Like, are you seeing something that nobody else is?
I'm going to look at it again, deep, cigarette and look at it again. Just what do I see or not see? Or am I throwing up again?
Something in that picture, something where the kids are, something in the shapes within the picture is bothering you.
Does it remind me of my nightmares or is it just funky?
Maybe it's something that has to do with your nightmares. I mean, you don't know the president.
Right. All right. I'm going to crumple the newspaper and throw it away because it's hurting my head.
Okay.
Yeah, screw it. Oh, there's just something weird about that picture, boys. It's not the car sickness. There's something going on here.
But what about it? I mean, what are you seeing in there? It was the president and his family.
I don't know. You remember the dreams we were talking about? It reminds me of that. I don't know how. I mean, it's president's kids, but geez.
You told me about your dreams, and that doesn't look anything like it.
I don't know what to tell you, Hank. It's probably nothing, right? It's probably just car sick. Jeez, I don't know what's going on. What was that, Hank?
Reading in the car always made me feel sick.
Hear ya. What's that you got there, Seamus? How are the two books? Or how's that whatever, Stranger Things, Stranger Trains, what?
Strangers on a Train. It's pretty good. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's good. It's nice to get your mind off things sometimes, I guess. But yeah, I guess I'm just not used to focusing on a book and driving. Because you said, Tom, that I'm not I'd noticed that I'm feeling a little off, right?
Yeah, actually, Hank is where I was going with it. Every time I've tried to read in a car, I get sick. And I don't get car sick, but it's the movement of the car and you moving the thing. But you did fine. You got a hard, so you didn't get sick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you want to see it?
Oh, no, I'm good. I've done my reading for today.
All right,
Denny.
you mugs. Come on, let's get going.
Denny, as you're getting ready to get back in the car, you look over where that newspaper is that you crumpled up and threw on the ground like a litter bug. And you're not sure if it's moving or not.
Like from the wind?
Like there's no wind, you're in the trees. Like it's moving across the ground.
Towards me?
Yeah.
So I'm keeping my eyes on it and I start tapping Michael or whoever or Hank, whoever's closest.
What is happening?
And I point at the newspaper.
What's the newspaper doing?
Nothing. He crumpled
I
it up
walk
and
over
threw it
and
on the
pick it
ground.
up. I walk over and I
Okay.
pick it up.
You pick
Is
it up.
Is there
That you disgraced God's green earth with.
Denny, when Michael picks up the newspaper, you almost think that it's got little clawed fingers that are about to grab a hold of Michael.
Michael! And then I scream and I reach out to, get between him and that thing. Knife suddenly in hand.
Whoa!
And I
Is
stab
there
the paper.
anybody around?
No, there's nobody around. Yeah, occasionally might a car might go whoosh past you.
What's gotten into you?
Dance
Denny?
away from him.
You look like a bunch of dudes peeing on the side of the road, like people do.
Denny, what is wrong with you?
Don't you boys see it?
No.
Hands.
This
I
is
saw
a
hands.
newspaper.
I
Danny,
saw
this is
hands
a
reaching out
newspaper.
at you, brother. It's just like
Put the knife away.
from my dreams, the little hands. And then Danny sort of, holds onto the knife, but slowly backs away from the newspaper. Hands.
Yeah, have a seat, man. Calm down. It's just a newspaper.
Look over at Hank. Tap my head.
I mean, he hasn't been sleeping. Maybe you should take
And I lean over to Hank and I say, are we sure we want him going with us? I don't want him pulling a knife on me again.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean,
my chest.
what's
It
wrong?
burns.
Denny, here, sit down.
And I'm just like grasping at my chest where the pin is. It burns.
What, the pen is burning you?
Burns.
Oh, geez.
I'm gonna try to, see if there's like poison ivy on me or whatever.
Nope,
Does
there's
it
no.
still look like Denny?
Yes,
Is the heat getting better? Is it worse?
he's looking pale.
Yeah.
No, it's even touching the pin hurts your hands.
If I lift my shirt, so the pin isn't touching me, does it still burn or?
Yep.
Shit.
I'm going to touch his pin and see if I can't help him unfasten it.
Okay. You're gonna help him unfasten it?
No.
Yeah, it unfastens easily.
How do I feel?
Are you taking it off of him?
Yeah.
All right, you take it off of him. Denny, when he takes it off of you and you step back, you suddenly have that picture in your mind of picture in the newspaper, and the thing that's sticking in your head are the balloons and the children, and your mind starts to turn, and you're thinking of your nightmare. It was dark, and then there were lights, and then you looked up and there were these globes. They were round, they were colorful. Were they balloons? And the thing down below you that started reaching up, were they children's hands? You feel them grab a hold of you and they say, Uncle John, happy birthday. And you suddenly realize that it was a birthday party, and it suddenly comes flooding back into your memory, and You don't know what the fuck is going on. It doesn't even feel like your memory. It feels like something else, like someone else's memory, but it's definitely you.
What?
How you
So
feeling?
you guys all see
John?
Denny suddenly fall back and look really surprised.
Uncle John? What? Me? Do I still recognize the three of them for who they are?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Danny, what's going on?
I don't know, Michael. The memories. You know, the dreams I was telling you about,
Yeah.
they were monsters. It's balloons of a birthday party. And I hear a voice, a child's voice, calling me Uncle John.
John.
Who's John?
Well, Denny, it suddenly starts to come back that everything in your mind starts to fall away. You're not sure that you know who these people are that you're with. You weren't an orphan. He looks extremely
Who are
confused,
you?
all of you, like he's possessed by the devil or something.
I start like slowly backing away.
Denny, what's the matter? What's gotten
Come
in?
on, calm down.
Danny,
Come
what's
here.
going on? We got someplace to go.
Come here, buddy. Take
Whoa,
have a seat.
hey, buddy, stay away from me.
We don't have to
You
go
got a
any
knife in your
places.
hand?
Whoa, no, it's like
Oh,
popped
okay.
on a bell ring. Whoa.
You're going through something
Hey.
right now. We're here for
Whoa.
you.
All right.
Denny, listen, it's us, all right? We're here.
Do I recognize that name, Tom, or does that like this Denny a thing to me now?
No, you remember that you, for the past, you don't know how long, have thought that you were Denny Doyle.
Okay, so that name is not it's a familiar name, just weird.
Oh, you remember everything that's taken place in the last, I mean, as far as that's concerned,
But these three are now less familiar.
but everything behind a few weeks ago is no longer a blur. You had a life. You lived someplace else. You had a wife and you had children, and there was a birthday party, and you had a job, and
Well, not anymore, clearly.
yeah, something.
Oh, you still
something
got
has
a
gone-
job.
Something has gone horribly wrong.
What? Who?
What are the rest of you doing?
What?
I don't know.
I'm
He's freaking
trying
out.
to calm Denny down. Like I
Oh,
don't want to like invade his personal space.
Seamus?
So yeah, I'm just like, I'm here, man. What's going on?
Do you remember Seamus?
Do I remember what?
Do you
Yeah,
remember
we remember
yesterday?
Seamus.
Do you remember yesterday? What we did last night?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Hank, do you remember what we did the night before that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. What about a week before that? Michael, do you remember what we did a week before that?
A little less clear, but I mean, that's a week ago. I'd have to think about it.
We do the same thing all the time. We hunt monsters.
Okay, try one more week before that.
We're hunting monsters.
Did we hunt a monster? Do
You
I
don't
remember?
I was
No.
at a birthday party.
What? For whom?
My nephew or baby.
What? What are you
You don't
talking?
have a nephew.
How would you know? How long have we met, Seamus?
We've known each
Sullivan.
other for a long time. We served
Seamus.
together. Oh, yes.
Seamus. A couple things there. When he says you served together, Denny, you weren't in the military.
Serve what? Hors d'oeuvres?
But Seamus, when Denny said I had a kid, you suddenly get this strange wave of nausea, and the pin on your chest starts to hurt a little bit too, like it's getting hot.
Do I notice him like wincing the moment I said that?
Maybe. Sure.
Oh,
You see it, don't you? You feel it. Seamus.
yeah. I mean, so I saw him having trouble with his pen. Would it be fair that I would like want to pull mine off now, or at least try to?
You're playing the game. You do what you want to do.
Okay. True. Yeah. I mean, I'll pull off the pen if it starts to burn me like it was burning him.
Okay. Hank and Michael, do idea rolls.
I think they're possessed.
No.
It's
Nope.
a success.
Well,
But a
Michael,
regular success.
You say he's possessed. You have been told that your pins are protecting you from something. And Denny's taking his off, and Seamus is starting to play with his pen.
Is my gun in the car?
Probably in the trunk.
Yeah. Boys, do you know that the pins are supposed to keep us safe from the monsters?
How do you know that, Michael?
Because it's what Father O'Leary told us.
When did he tell you? Do you remember? I don't remember.
Father O'Leary also said we can't have books, but guess what we found in his room?
Well, you're going to throw all this out the window because you found a book in Father O'Leary's room?
Hey, I never said I'm not throwing everything out the window. I'm just saying that not everything the father says is what it is. That's all I'm saying.
Did you all see what we did last night?
Yeah. We killed
Oh,
monsters.
I remember. But I'm
We
also
killed some
remembering
kind
my child's birthday or a child's birthday.
Denny, you start to think about last night. And the more you think about it, the more you think it was a homeless guy. And was he
Oh.
just finding a place to bed down for the night?
Oh, God. Oh, dear God Almighty.
There was something weird about the way it looked. Maybe it was just the moonlight. But maybe it wasn't that weird. Maybe you murdered a homeless man last night.
What?
Seamus, this conversation bothers you.
Is this
You-
pencil on or is it off?
He's holding on to it. It's hurting him. You remember that corridor that you were walking down? You were walking towards a glass window in a corridor, a big glass window in a corridor. You were anxious and nervous, and something was inside there. And it was a bunch of cribs with babies, and one of them was yours. You suddenly realize it was a hospital. And at this point, the pen really burns.
So I flick it.
Okay.
I move over closer to Hank.
You throw the pen onto the ground, and when you do, you suddenly realize you also had a life. You are not Seamus O'Sullivan. You are named Vince, and you and your wife had just had a baby, and you were nervous about seeing the baby, and there it was. You had a wife and a home, and you were happily married, and you were in fact a policeman and in New York, and something happened that you got ripped away from that life, and kidnapped?
So, yeah. Wait a minute.
And now that the date is coming back to you, you're starting to think, was that 3 years ago?
Something's up.
Seamus?
So when I look at Denny, do I recognize him as another person? Now?
Yeah. I mean, you still think of him as Denny Doyle, but you don't know him. I mean, you didn't live in an orphanage. You weren't in the war. Certainly not serving with Denny. Certainly not serving with Hank or Michael. Hank and Michael, you're looking at the two of them now. They've thrown off their pins and they're acting very strangely. What are you guys doing?
All right, what's going on here? They're taking their pins off, and all of a sudden they're remembering all these different things.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
the
I think they could. I think that maybe that creature last night might have injected them with something. I think we ought to inch over to the car and our rifles because they could.
They're acting kind
Turn
of static. I don't know if we can trust them to help us carry out this mission anymore.
Are you guys like whispering because we're right there?
Yeah.
Yes,
We're like inching towards the car.
Well, what is
we're moving towards the trunk.
what's Seamus and Denny doing? I'm just going to keep calling you by those names.
Let's
Boys,
keep it. There's
Boys.
an understanding that we're not those people, but that's
Right.
just for simplicity.
boys, and my hands are, right where they can see it. Boys, there's something very, very wrong here.
I open the trunk. We're off by the side of the road, right?
Yep.
Do you
Occasional cars
remember?
driving by.
What
Occasional cars.
do you remember? A week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, where you were?
Killing monsters.
Were you, Hank?
Yeah.
Were
Well,
you?
my rifle.
I don't remember that any. No.
What about your
Oh.
dream, Hank?
Hank
The
and Michael,
faces.
try as you might.
Shotgun.
Hank and Michael, try as you might. You can only remember 3 kills last night and 2 others. The insect guy and the
Yeah.
thing.
Dominer and Hesed. What about before that?
What are you doing to my head? I don't know. I don't know what I was doing that long ago.
What about
Hank-
the faces without faces? You were telling me about them, Hank.
Yeah,
Hank,
back,
you can go ahead. Sorry.
just nightmares.
I had a kid. I was in my dream. It's like clearer now. I always thought it was like a nightmare, and I was in like this, like scared about what I was seeing outside the window, and I always thought it was like, oh, it was like a monster, and it was like my calling. But I was anxious because I was having a baby born that day. I remember that. I remember being nervous, and I remember walking up to the glass looking for mine.
Another
Those
baby.
dreams.
Hank, do a willpower roll or power roll.
I got a success.
Them talking and saying all these things, birthdays, and it's something. It starts. You start to feel that nausea too. Like,
Oh man.
why does that feel? Why does that feel familiar?
Did I eat something funny? Those were just
Yeah,
dreams.
you too.
Been killing monsters, and yeah, I have nightmares, but it's stressful work that we're doing.
It's normal.
Was
You
it a
can-
nightmare a monster last night, or was it just a homeless hobo?
You saw him; he was like a big dog man.
Why would Father Leary have us kill just innocent hobos? What sense does that make?
I mean,
Hank, the pen starts to burn you.
sure. What's that?
The pen is starting to burn you as well.
God, this it's freaking hot. What are we in the sun? Hold on, I gotta get this thing off. It hurts. It hurts.
What are you taking it off to?
It hurts, man. It's burning.
I'll help rip it off if he lets me.
Yeah,
Okay.
get that off. Ow.
Michael, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Brother, you know us. And I'm just keeping my distance. Brother,
Seamus, when you move towards Hank and you reach out for that pen, you start to feel those thoughts become cloudier as you're approaching the pen. Although they don't go completely back to cloudiness. But you succeed in helping Hank take it off. What do you do with it? Throw it away?
Yeah,
Okay.
I throw it into the tree line and I say, it's the pin. It's the fucking pin. And I throw it.
And Hank, when that happens to you, you were in that black room, or you were in the corridor and you opened up the portal. It's an apartment door. You're opening an apartment door. It's black inside. You open it up, and there was that fire and screeching, but it's the lights come on. There's your girlfriend with a birthday cake coming out of the kitchen, and all of the guests scream, "Surprise, happy birthday." And your life starts flooding back into your mind. You also had a life. You also were not in the military, and you can sort of remember that you were subjected to some sort of ritual. You were kidnapped. It was a dark room. There was at least one person there, not Father O'Leary, but somebody else dressed in black, saying some strange language words. You don't know what they were, but it was some sort of ritual, and you don't remember anything after that except
This.
this.
What happened to my life? My friends?
Hank? Hank?
Where are
You
they?
too?
Michael is freaking out. He's got a gun.
Michael, there's something going on with these pins are having us like forget about our whole life. We had a whole other life before this.
But the pins are what lets us see the monsters.
Ask yourself, Michael. I'm Danny Doyle. He's Hank Houlihan. You're Michael Murphy. Seamus Sullivan. Do those sound like real names to you?
Yeah, in
What
my
are the-
neighborhood, they sound like real
No,
real
what
names.
are the odds of 4 orphans with names like that?
No, Michael, listen up. All right, so these pins are supposed to protect us, but we're not. There's no danger anywhere around here. Take yours off for a second.
Okay, maybe we'll walk away. We'll step away from Michael. So, not going to be able to rush you, buddy. You know how fast or slow we are. We've seen each other in action.
How long have we been driving?
Couple of hours.
What's the worst that can happen, buddy?
I texted Denny, but you guys might not even be Irish.
Wait. What's this accent I have? Good thing I don't have a good accent anyways. Wait, who am I? What?
No, Michael, listen. All of us, these pins started burning us, so we took them off because they hurt, right? But
That's what you say.
put it together. None of us could remember farther back than like 3 weeks, right? It just kind of, how can all of us just forget not even a month ago?
Also, you're pretty sure in that old life, you didn't know each other.
I'm remembering all this stuff from before. I mean, it's clear.
What you gonna do, Michael?
Oh. Okay, half of me wants to just run off into the woods with a rifle. And the other half wonders how much of a connection do I have with these three to trust them?
Well,
I almost want the
an
dice
hour
to
ago,
decide.
you would have given your life for all three of these guys.
Come on, brother.
All right, I'll take the pin off. If I would have died for him, I'd take the pin off.
You take off the pins. What do? Throw it away? Do you look at it?
I just throw it on the ground in front of me and step back a couple feet.
Okay.
But the pin is between me and them, and I am armed.
Okay. You throw it down on the ground. You can see that there is something written on the back of the pin that you never really noticed before. But you would have
What's
to
written
pick it
there?
up and look at it.
I will.
All right. This is, I'm just putting it in the chat. That's what's written on the back of it.
Oh,
It
only he sees it. Okay.
Makes no sense. It's like some foreign language. Do you keep
All right, I'll
holding?
drop it. I'll drop it and I'll back up 2 or 3 steps.
You drop it. You start to think about the dream, the thing in the blurry place, and it's New York City, and it is your wife coming towards you and reaching out to throw her arms around you and give you a hug. It's one of the nicest moments. You've just gotten back from a long trip and she was welcoming you back, and all of the happiness of your previous life was somehow ripped away and purged from you, and you were convinced by something that you were monster killers.
All right, boys.
Michael,
We may
you
have
see
been
that too.
duped.
Phew. And I lower my hand. Yeah.
You think on your previous kills, you're pretty sure that Edward Hessett was just a librarian. He was just trying to get away from you. He was throwing books at you as he was running, and you were hunting him and killing him. And you remember Jordan Domner, and he was in his apartment, and he was fixing himself ramen, and you broke in and just viciously killed him and splattered his blood and entrails around the room.
Why?
Yeah.
What? What
And
have
at
we
whose
done?
order? Fellas, look at the back of your pins. There's some weird thing on it, some weird non-language thing on it. Take a look at them.
I get a stick and poke at the pin to flip it around.
You can see that there's stuff written on the back, but every time you start to get closer to the pin, you feel like waves of something trying to subdue your minds.
Oh, nope. And I flick it away with the stick.
So someone stole our lives.
Yeah, it's this O'Leary guy.
Why?
I don't know.
I say we go back to the monastery and we beat the dog shit out of him until he tells us what's going on.
Or we
Oh, wait,
find
wait.
this Jane Richmond.
Wait, what? Hold it. Who are the 3 people that? Oh, that's a good idea.
Because why else would, right?
We can
Yeah,
figure
let's
out what
go.
she wants to do with him.
Just talk to her.
Right. Figure out what's her connection. You know.
Exactly. Does she know Hesed, Dominer, Hobo? Oh, what's the name of the? We saw the.
Cleveland Franco.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Franco.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, let's go talk to her.
And I get some candy from where Michael is stashing it.
All right, so you're going to continue on to the house. Okay. I just realized that we are at 2 hours. If you want a break, we take a pee break or a bio break, sorry. I'm
Yeah,
crude.
water.
All right.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
So you guys are continuing forward. There's a few things that start to cross your mind, almost like, why were we fooled even with the pins on? You, Denny, had at one point mentioned getting your confession heard. You don't recall ever getting your confession heard. You don't even think you're Catholic. you never did any kind of services, any religious services in the St. Otto's monastery. He never did mass. Priests are supposed to do mass every day, you think. You don't even know if there was a chapel. You'd never been in a chapel in that monastery. It's all very fishy.
Hey, gentlemen, boys, do you ever remember Father O'Leary giving mass?
No, he was just training us.
Doesn't that seem odd? Wait, what happened to my accent?
What?
Did you ever have an accent?
Wait, what? Are we Irish? What?
Yeah.
Testing, 1, 2, what?
Do I remember my wife's name?
Yes.
Do I remember my phone number?
Yeah, you think so.
It's 1951, it's probably like 2. No, I kid.
Kelly. That's right. My wife's name is Kelly Cadillac. Good one.
Oh, that's horrible.
Your phone number would be something like Murphy Brown 93625.
Exactly. Okay, at the next gas station, I tap Hank on the shoulder and tell him to pull over, and I dial that number.
I pull over into the gas station.
Okay. You pull into the gas station, and Michael or Kenny, I'm going to have to make a new overlay for both names. Kenny, you dial the number, and the electronic sort of sounding voice, it's actually not electronic. It was actually, there was a woman who recorded all these things. It says, we're sorry, the number you've reached has been disconnected or is no longer in use. Please check your number and try again.
Damn.
You've all kind of figured that it's been 3 years.
Do we remember where we live? Like an address?
Do you remember where you live?
Is it close to each other's?
No.
Here's what I think. If our memory's been scrubbed and we've been killing people,
At least 3.
there's a reason. Well, but if we've been like scrubbed for 3 years and we only remember killing 3 people, who knows what's happened? Right.
Right.
All right. The Father Leary is in on it.
If he's even a
Everybody's-
father, yeah.
Right. Everybody's in on it. So I say we go after this target and start asking her questions.
Yeah,
I agree.
This lady,
Okay, let's go.
make the connections and figure out what all these people and all the previous victims have to do with O'Leary. Or
Why are we killing them? Yes. And we're not going to leave those pins out there. We've got to get them and put them in. I'll take one of my socks off.
You don't even know
Put 'em
where
in a sock.
you threw them out into the woods.
Right. We drove
driven away.
yeah.
No, I threw my pin right in front of me.
Yeah, but
Oh, no,
that
but
was
then
somewhere in the woods. You don't know where.
Yeah, we drove back to, or away to get to a gas station for you to have a phone call.
It would take
Okay,
you.
but we didn't do it. You don't think one of us would have thought to pick up one of those pins?
No, it made our
Okay.
head hurt.
Every
It made
time
our
you
head
went near
hurt.
it, your head hurt.
Yeah, and mine, Seamus took mine and threw it way.
Okay.
Yeah.
We probably know approximately where it is, like where we stopped if we really, really need to find it, I guess.
Some kids on their bicycles are going to find us.
Ooh.
Let's drive to the target.
All right. So you arrive in Talwich, Massachusetts around, we'll say 3:30 in the afternoon. You realize that in a rather wealthy area of of Talwich is where this cottage is. As you drive towards it, you can see that it's a very nice little cottage. Obviously, it's owned by some wealthy people, and the gardens are pretty. It's late fall, but there's a couple of bright orange and red trees, and with the fall colors, and there's still flowers growing in the garden. A little white picket fence around it. What do you do? And the name on the mailbox is Jack and Jane Richmond.
Okay, somebody should just sneak around the house. We should just do what we've been trained to do. Sneak around the house, see if we can get her alone, see if there's anybody in there.
I was thinking of just knocking the door and saying hi.
Sure, but let's just make sure that this isn't a trap too.
Fair point. Let's scout, but don't be too, don't antagonize her unnecessarily.
All right. So Denny, you're going to go up to the door.
No, we're going to look around to see if there's anything unusual first.
Okay. To get into the yard, you're going to have to open up the gate in the picket fence. Walk down the line. It looks like a perfectly nice, pretty little house.
Was there a way to walk up and down the street and then maybe a side street or something, just to kind of look around it, see if there's anything that's out of the ordinary?
And Hank has binoculars too, so.
Not precisely. There are houses on either side. There is a street behind them, but there are houses there. So the backyards are up against each other.
So it would be crossing somebody else's backyard to get into this backyard.
Correct.
Is there a car in the driveway?
There is. It's a nice car. Maybe a Buick.
Why don't we just
Nothing to it. Yeah, nothing to it but to say hi.
maybe we're all right. They're gonna ask who the hell are we and why are we asking these questions? So
That's exactly right.
maybe we're PIs and we're just we're working on behalf of a client. And
You are all dressed like assassins.
so we're working on behalf of a client, and we just start asking questions. And if they get too skeptical or they start asking questions we don't want to answer, we could just say, it's client privilege.
Should it be all four of us, or maybe just the one or two of you, and we could, because you don't want four black suited men in front of your door.
Or maybe you do.
Maybe you do. Do I remember what I used to do before this happened? Was I something?
That's a kidnapper.
No, you all
was
have
this-
legitimate jobs.
But now we're all trained hunters. I say, let's see if the husband's in there. And let's kidnap her. Let's take her to someplace else. Let's interrogate her. We don't have to hurt her. I don't want to kill her. I don't want to hurt her. But I want to find out what's going on. And I don't want to whip up some other story about it either. We've had enough stories already. Let's get to the truth.
Oh boy.
Well, if we're going to kidnap her, we got to be quick about it.
We should find out if the husband's inside.
Well, one way to find out. It's a gentleman of the house, right?
Yeah, just go up and knock and say you want to sell aluminum siding.
Aluminum.
Oh, wait, no,
siding.
that's the fifth. This is that
Right.
would be in the 70s.
Hoover vacuums.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What?
No, except you'd talk to the lady of the house for that probably. But just go up and see if the old man's inside.
All right. Well, nothing to it. And then I get out. Anyone to come with?
No,
Yeah.
you go. So you
Okay.
don't.
All right.
All right. And then Kenny, say what, Hank?
We'll hang tight.
Okay. So
All right.
Denny or John walks up, opens the fence, no weapons, no nothing, and just knocks on the door.
Okay. After a couple of minutes, you can hear footsteps approaching the door. The door opens and there is a gentleman. He looks like he's maybe 65. He's dressed in a simple tweed with a sweater, like a sweater vest on and a tie. And he says, "Yes, can I help you?"
Good day, sir. Is the master of the house in?
That would be me.
Oh, you would be Mr. Goodman.
Yeah, what are you selling, buddy?
Vacuum cleaner, sir. The best
we've
Hoover
already got
Industries.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
And he closes the door in your face.
Sorry for interrupting. And then All right. And then I just make my exit clearly visible, nothing shady, and walks back into the car. All right. Husband is in, and they already have a vacuum cleaner, apparently. So,
Well,
Okay.
it sounds like we're gonna have to do this the hard way.
are we sure we need to antagonize them? I mean,
Don't you have a kid to get back to?
yeah, but if we've already killed, well, I guess if we already killed 4 people, might as well. What am I saying?
The truth. The truth.
Well, if we're going to do it, let's do it quick.
The thing is that we could just go in there. We could just go in there and start asking questions. We totally could. There was something about making sure, that the husband doesn't know. So it's
Yep.
about the woman.
What day of the week is it, Tom?
What day do you want it to be? Wednesday.
A work day, right? So if we wait until maybe the husband, who may or may, if he's still working.
He's 65.
All right, fair enough. I mean, they look like they're retired, so I don't think there would be a time where they're separated unless we separate them.
Well, he looks like he's retired. We haven't seen her.
And that's not adding up. We were supposed to come in here and vet her, and if something was off about her, we weren't supposed to let the husband know. How? Let's say, for argument's sake, she was actually a monster. How in the world were we going to convince, not let him know?
Well, no, she just disappears one day. Kidnap her, get rid of the body.
This stinks.
Actually, Seamus, what you had been told was to make sure he doesn't get hurt. He's innocent, you were told.
So these are targeted.
Up is down and down is up. He might be in on it. We've got to get the wife. All right, look.
I said we break in there and we tie them both up until we know exactly what's going on.
Hank, what do you think?
Oh, this is getting increasingly risky. So we need to, I guess, manage this risk and be as calculated about it as possible.
Or just be honest.
You know what I think we do?
What?
Go ahead.
Home invasion. I think we go busting in with masks, separate them, take them into separate rooms, blindfold them, and start talking to the wife.
But that's going to make it hard because, they're going to be under duress. What they tell us, they're just going to tell us what we want to hear. Anything at all. What if we just go, just be honest?
We can be vague with our questions. We can.
Let's say that there's an evil cult involved in this, and they're using us as their pawns. And let's say, because we remember that somebody else kind of kidnapped them. We know that there's more than just Father Leary going. And let's say this dude who's not supposed to be hurt is part of that operation. Because we had explicit directions not to hurt him.
Why don't we just?
So if we're going around just killing people.
Well, she's not home then. What if we just figure out where she works or somewhere and go meet her out in public?
Sure.
Just her.
She's 65 in 1950.
How do we know her name? Do we have her name?
Yeah,
Yes.
Jane Richmond.
Jane Richmond. She's on the mailbox.
Post office would know what they know. You ask the postmaster, hey, this lady, where can we find her?
Bridge club or something.
Post office wouldn't know she's at the Bridge Club. They'd give you her address and you're right in front of it. So,
Well, I just figured that, people go in there. Maybe the postmaster would know everybody in town. I don't know how big this place is.
Hank, if going back to your original idea, if you go, hey, we had a client, Ed, Hesed, and he was, asking us to look after her or look for her, and the next thing we know, he's dead. that might do something.
Hank, do an idea roll.
No.
Everyone else do idea rolls.
Yes, hard success.
Nope, I'm too dumb.
Hard success.
Okay.
Oh man, smart guys.
Michael and Seamus, you're starting to think whatever you guys saw, the pins caused that. Michael, you mentioned the possibility of a cult, but you've got 4 different people from 4 completely different walks of life in 4 different states. And they all seem completely normal and innocent. This looks like some retired person. It was a homeless guy, a librarian, and just some dude living in his apartment. They seem more like innocent people than anything else. The target was given to you by Father O'Leary.
Right, but we don't know that somebody else didn't give it to him. But yes, look, if this is just an innocent person whose name has been pulled out of a hat, she won't know these other 3 names. And we know those other 3 names.
True.
So if there's a connection between these people, that would be important. If there's not a connection between the people we're supposed to kill, that would be important. I say let's just go in there, separate them so that we can talk to the wife and not talk to the husband. Find out if she knows anything, and then go back to Father O'Leary's. And I think we should take the husband.
If they're
Because
completely
the husband,
innocent.
they said, what's that?
And if they're completely innocent?
Who's saying that? My conscience?
Well, I'm just asking. You just told me that they might be completely innocent and you're going to go in and assault them. And,
No. I'm going to go in and interrogate him. And yeah, I am.
I mean, we're not. I don't know if I'm even Catholic anymore, but that's just not the right thing to do.
Okay.
Michael,
What's your
name
plan?
is.
What's your plan?
Just gonna go and tell them what happened. Not the murder part.
Maybe we should just be honest. Say, listen, something's happened to us. We've been, I don't know how much to tell them. Obviously not, hey, we killed these guys, but...
We just remember 2-3 names, and she's one of them, the closest one. I don't know.
All right.
I would like y'all to do spot hiddens.
Yeah, I got
Not
it.
that time.
006.
Nice. Normal success.
Okay. Hank, did you beat his 006 at all?
Yeah, I actually rolled a 5.
Ooh,
A 5. Okay. Well, I'll say both Hank and Denny, as you guys have been sitting in your car out front for quite a while. Both of you notice the curtains on the front of the house open a bit, and you think you see the man and a woman looking out at you, like probably saying, "Why is that car still there?"
I elbow Hank. Looks like we're spotted.
Yeah. Listen, let's just go up and just explain that we've been the victim of a crime. We don't remember much. We were taken.
Don't tell me. Tell her. Let's just go do it.
Yeah.
All
right.
4 of us, or just me and someone else? They've already seen me, so it doesn't matter.
Let's just go up. Honesty is the best policy.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna
Who has
open the
it?
door.
Who has the lowest luck?
I'm going to stay here. Look, you 3 are going to go in. I'm going to stay here in the car with the gun. And if something goes wrong, like if all of a sudden black cars start showing up and people start jumping out of them, I'm going to cover your asses.
All right.
Same as that night. Same as that night.
Hank, do a luck roll then.
No.
All right. So Hank and Denny and Seamus, you get out of the car.
I'll wave at them if I see the windows open.
You the scene is this: 4 men dressed in black get out of a black car.
3.
One of them, well, 3 of them, and one of them is the salesman, and they start moving up to the house. At which point, both people in the windows disappear. You go up to the door, and what are you going to do? Knock?
Knock, but step a bit to the side.
Okay. You knock, and the man's voice from inside the house says, "Go away, we've called the police."
I'm like, sir, I'm sorry I wasn't honest before. As you can tell, I'm definitely not a vacuum salesman.
"I've got a gun, go away."
Sir, please, we need help.
Would you just
Please.
hear?
The police are on their way.
Okay, good.
Do you know a Edward Hesed? Or a Jordan Dominer? Or a Franco Vita?
From Franco.
Yeah.
There's no response.
Hmm.
Shit.
What do you mean?
Well, should we just go back and beat the shit out of O'Leary?
I think before the cops get here, let's make ourselves scarce.
All right.
I don't know that there's anything else we can do here. All right. Thanks for your time, sir and ma'am. And then leave.
Michael, you suddenly see them come walking rather briskly back to
It's
the
like-
car.
Yeah, I get in, I turn the car over, and start.
So how'd that work?
Cops
Look.
are coming.
Okay, then we have seconds to snatch that woman. Are we going to do it?
I don't think there's a there here. Let's just go back
What?
to the one we know will have information,
Also,
O'Leary, and go from there.
All right.
yeah, I don't
Okay.
think
Your last plan was bad. Maybe this one will be better.
There you go.
All
second.
right. So you
I
hop
think
in the
we should
car.
snatch that woman.
What's
Yeah,
that?
what was that,
Vince?
Seamus?
I really think we should snatch this woman and take them back and between here and O'Leary, try to talk some reason into her.
Well, cops are coming.
If you think so, Seamus, then let's do it.
I don't know. It's just why her? You know what I mean? And I'm trying to say,
There's
I'm
one
saying
way to
this-
find out. We could ask her. Okay, I get out of the car. I have my rifle. I run to the front door and I kick it as hard as I can.
Shit, and I follow behind Kenny or Michael or whatever his name is.
we have
You-
masks.
Michael, do a strength roll.
Oh man! I rolled a 100.
Okay. It is a well-built 1950s solid oak door that you kick very hard.
Not hard enough.
All right, get out of the way.
Yeah, damn it. All right, Hank.
All right. I got it hard.
Oh, duck out afterwards. Like ducking cover afterwards, buddy.
I would like Hank to do a dodge roll.
Oh Lord, someone's about to get capped.
35. Ooh, I'm gonna spend 5 points of luck to make that a regular.
Okay. Spend 5 points. Oh. How much would you have to spend to make it a hard? Actually, how much would you have to spend to make it an extreme?
All right, hold on. All right, so
You're going down, buddy.
35. To make an extreme, I would need to get a. What's my dodge? So an extreme, I would have to get. So I had 40. I could spend 29 points.
Okay. You spend the 29 points, then you won't get hit by the shotgun blast that blows a hole in the door as it's opening. But it scares the shit out of you, so you can do a sanity roll. Is there anyone who is behind Hank as he kicked open the door?
I did kind of make them move off to the side.
Right. And we did warn him to duck and cover so we wouldn't be standing behind him.
Okay. So it makes you all jump. You can all do sanity rolls when that happens.
After that, I'm running in and punching anything I see.
What you see, Hank, as you open the door is you see that same old man standing there with the shotgun, and he's fired.
How much for fail? The sand.
For a fatal sand, do a 1d4.
All right.
We're not the good boys anymore.
I'm taking the man down.
So, Denny, you're running in?
Yeah.
All right. Do a brawl roll.
All right. I got 12 over 75. So, extreme.
Okay. He is, your impression of him is that he's shaking like he's absolutely out of his mind, terrified.
I'm not aiming to kill. I'm aiming to disable as possible.
Right. He looks like he barely knows how to fire a gun. He's doing this.
Yeah.
You dive for him and you knock him down, and you're on top of him on the ground. Michael and Seamus, what are you guys doing?
I'm in the house. I'm looking for the woman.
Okay, you come into the house. It's except for the big gigantic hole that's been blasted in the front door. It's what you'd expect from a 1950s old people's house. You hear immediately when the gun blast goes off, you hear a woman scream upstairs.
Up I go.
All right, and Seamus?
I will follow with him.
All right. So you guys run up the stairs, and as you're running up the stairs, you do hear a door slam and the sound of what sounds like furniture being pushed. And the distant sound of sirens.
All right, come on, together. We're going to shove this door and see if we can get in. We got about a second.
Yeah. So, I will put all my strength into the door to try to push it open.
Okay, roll the strength roll.
Both of us or just Seamus?
Well, you might work on it together.
Die?
Yeah, give him a bonus die.
So I'll roll 3, right? Okay.
You roll, yeah. You roll the 10s dice twice. I mean the
10s dice?
The double dice.
Okay.
The double circle.
There we go. That is a 29. So that's a hard success.
These doors aren't built quite as well. You bang on it with your shoulder and it snaps the thing. She's pushed maybe a dresser up against it, so it opens up a little bit. She screams, and you push the dresser over as the door opens up. She's on the other side of the bed in the bedroom. She's cowering in the corner, and she's just screaming as loud as she can. She's a little old lady, probably in her late 60s.
I say, we were told to come kill you, and we don't want to. Why would somebody want to kill you?
Oh, you're going to kill me. She's absolutely terrified.
All right, if she's little, I'm picking her up and we're going.
All right. She's gonna kick and scream. Don't rape me.
Oh God.
Damn it, Kenny, we talked about this. First the cats and now this.
Okay, you've grabbed a hold of her. She is absolutely terrified. You can feel that she's shaking. And you carry her down the stairs. She sees her husband and she's screaming, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God."
And we take her to the car.
And I'm like,
Okay.
I am so sorry, sir. And I guess I also don't have a vacuum for you. And I try to knock him in. I mean, I'm over him. Oh,
You're
just
gonna
like
try to knock him out.
knock him out. Like, I mean, I'm over him already. So like just
Okay.
whack on that.
That works in movies. Go
Okay.
ahead and do a brawl roll.
Ooh. Do I get advantage because I'm like literally over him?
Oh, sure. I mean,
Okay.
you're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the first roll is a 26 and the second one is a 86. So 26.
Okay.
Under 75. So definitely
Do a damage roll with which is your unarmed.
Unarmed, yeah. So D3
1d3 plus your damage.
plus
bonus.
damage, yeah. That's a 2 and D4 is 3. So 2 and 3,
Okay.
so 5.
So you don't really knock him out, but you hurt him. So he's
Like dazed, yeah.
he's crying on the floor as you get up off of him.
All right.
You all run to the car.
Yeah. All right, Hank, let's go. You all right there, buddy? That was close.
Damn it.
And I'd like drag Hank along if he needs a hand.
You're going to bundle her into the back seat.
We're gonna
Correct.
swaddle her in the back seat.
With throttle her into the back seat. Okay.
Swaddle, yeah. Just like wrap her up.
Oh,
she
you're
can't,
going to swaddle. Okay.
Swaddle. No, not
Like,
throttle. No.
Get in, little lady.
All right.
Worse.
You get her in the back seat. She's crying. She's hysterical. She's not screaming anymore because she's afraid if she screams, you're going to kill her. And you pull out. You drive away. You do catch a glimpse of the cops going up the hill. You don't pass them, but they're on the other block going up. You see them. So you pass, so you have her in the car. And she's cowering, she's crying, and she's covering her face.
I ask her what are the names of those people? Elias somebody?
So Cleveland Franco, Hessman or
Hesed.
Well, don't tell me you're asking her. Ask her.
Yeah. The names are Hesed, Dominer, Franco.
Do you know who Hesed is? Do you know who Dominer is? Do you know who Franco is?
I don't know anything. I don't know anybody like that. Who are you people? Why are you doing this to me?
We were told to come kill you, but we don't want to. We want to find out why somebody would want to kill you.
You killed my husband. Why? Why would you? You
Your
people are
husband's not dead.
maniacs.
Your husband's not dead. Why would somebody want you dead, lady?
Why would anybody want me dead?
That's what we want to know.
I don't.
Why would anybody want you dead?
Why have you done this to me? Why have you captured? I mean, I've never done anything.
because you didn't open the door.
I don't want your fucking your fucking vacuum cleaner. Your salesman tactics are way out of line.
Matt, do you actually already have a vacuum cleaner? Your husband says yes, but
Does that
Do you
really
really?
matter right now?
All right, ma'am. Again, to reiterate, we were sent to your house by a man who has swindled us and kept us hostage to kill you. We want to know why we were doing this and why this man targeted you specifically and the others that he made us target. You don't know, none of these names are familiar to you?
Not at all. I'm not going to keep doing that to my voice.
right.
Yeah.
Do you have any enemies? Anyone who might do you harm? I mean, except us, apparently. Can you think of anything, man?
If you were going to,
If we were going to kill you, you'd be dead already, man.
If you were going to kill me and decided not to, why didn't you go to the police?
Because we don't know what's happening, man.
Why would you assault me? Why would you break into my house and assault my husband and bash his head on the floor and
Because we're
tear me
afraid.
out of your house, out of my house?
Because we're afraid.
Here has incriminated us in other things.
Well, then turn yourselves in.
We want to know why first.
I don't know why. I don't know what you're talking about. You're insane.
Do you have any
All right,
enemies?
you don't know these three people's names.
I've never heard them in my life.
What does your husband do for a living, or what did he used to do for a living?
He was, I don't know. Ask me questions I haven't made up.
Sorry.
He was I don't know.
Doctor? Yeah.
Sorry.
Tom, you need to work on your improv skills.
Yes, and
Was it plumber?
He was a hat manufacturer. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't matter. He's something.
okay, right. And do you guys have any enemies? Anyone that might do you harm?
You keep saying that. No, who would be my enemy?
That's what we're trying to find out.
Well, I'm not going to answer your question because I don't know the answer.
All right,
You're making
she's
this
useless.
all
Let's
up.
get rid of her.
Roll her
Let's
out
just
the
get rid of
car.
her. Yeah.
Like, stop the car first.
Ma'am, we're going to teach you something. It's called tuck and roll.
Damn it, Seamus.
Are we dropping her?
Hank's just stopped the car here.
All right,
we
so
haven't
get rid of the
driven far
lady.
enough. Sorry about that, man.
Nowhere. The only option is go back to O'Leary.
Good luck with your vacuum cleaner.
She gets out of the car.
That was so bad.
She
That was bad.
That sucked. What?
who's got the lowest luck?
Hank.
Hank, do a luck roll.
Hell no.
Jesus.
We didn't
for
back
3.
into her, did we?
All right. She gets out. You get her out of the car, and she's running away from the car. Looks like she's running maybe towards some other person's house, where she'll probably, they'll probably help her call the police or whatever. All right. So you drive away. You're going back to the monastery,
Mm-hmm.
probably at a breakneck speed to get back there.
Do we need to get gas again, or?
You probably do. These are gas guzzling
Okay.
cars.
Yeah, I mean, we did ask to get like a bit of extra gas at the beginning. Is that enough, or you think we need to?
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
5 gallons. They're probably 20-gallon tanks,
Mm.
and but they probably burn it pretty well. Those big cars do.
Mm.
At the same time, it probably costs you 30 cents a gallon.
Okay.
So
Well, yeah, we don't have much money, so.
right.
Make paste.
All right. So it's probably about 7:00. It's October, so the sun is just gone below the horizon. So the sky is quite red, blood red. As you pull back up to the monastery, you can still see that there are kerosene lamps glowing inside the main room. Park the car, and what do you guys do?
Get the weapons and sneak up to Father O'Leary's room outside to see if we could see if he's in this room or not. Or at least I do that.
Remember, he doesn't know that we're, we
Well, he won't see us wearing our pins, or he'll see us not wearing them rather.
well, it's cold out. We have coats on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what are you going to do? Are you if Denny goes over there, he's not in his room.
Okay.
You can see there's no light in there, so he's not in there.
Do we only
Is
have
this car here? Or is this just the one car and we were in it?
It's the one car that we were in. There's only one car.
We can't be far.
Correct. Everything would indicate that he is here.
Like you said, Hank, so far he doesn't know that we're no longer his good boys.
So we just tell him we finished the job. Talk to him.
And get close enough.
Time up.
All right. So who's going in first?
I'll go in first this time.
Okay.
I'll be behind him.
I'll go right after. Yeah.
Denny,
Father.
you open up the door. Father O'Leary was in the common area. He had just finished, it looks like, making something to eat for dinner. And he looks up from the table and, he takes the napkin and he says, "Oh, my goodness, boys, you're back so early. Is everything okay? How did it go?"
Yes, Father.
It's a quick job.
And I walk closer to him, casual, relax.
You didn't even wait for evening. What was it like? Tell me.
Father, we did, we did exactly as you said. We went, made sure that Jane Richmond was the thing, the thing you said she was. But we were good, Father. We made sure the husband was unaware and unharmed. And as I keep saying that, I'm walking closer and closer to him.
Well, it's a good thing that
yes, Father,
that he wasn't harmed.
Did you ever find out more about why we needed to hunt for her? I know the church doesn't tell you much, but
no, they don't tell me anything.
Who
Father,
exactly tells you, Father? And then I shoot him.
Out of curiosity. Wait, and then you shoot him?
I shoot him.
Okay.
I shoot him like in the spine, lower spine, close range with a 30 caliber rifle.
All right. So, I mean, there's no, you can walk
No,
right
there's
up
no
to him if
moving
you
out of
want
the
to.
way.
Yeah.
Shoot him in the knee.
He's dying, but this.
He already said it.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Michael. I mean, you can't miss. So, do the damage.
And I step back just a little.
4 points.
4 points with a rifle. Yes.
Yeesh.
That was a shitty roll.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I want to drop him, but I don't want to kill him. But I don't want to waste a whole lot of time here either. It's midnight.
All right.
Quarter
Well,
after.
we'll say that with 4 points of damage, you blow a hole through his shoulder. He falls back. His feet kick the table. The whatever he was eating goes everywhere, and he yells.
I maintain that same voice. Father, so like we were saying, did you ever find out more about why we're going after this lady?
What's going on? Why have you shot me?
I'll put my machete at his neck and I say, "Talk, old man. The jig is up."
Does he have a pin?
Not that you've ever seen.
Search his body while the machete is next to his neck. No pin.
He has perhaps a pack of cigarettes, some
Does he have
chewing
a
gum.
cross?
Yeah, he's wearing a cross. Kind of
All
a
right.
big cross.
I'm gonna
Who,
pull it off.
Who are you? Who are we? Why are we here? Spill it.
I don't know what you're talking about, boys. You know who you are. You know what we're here for.
Look, no pin. We remember everything. What's going on?
When you say that, his eyebrows go up, and he's like, "Oh, boys, what did you do?
What did you do?
Oh, God, what have you done? Have none of you got your pins?
Nope.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Good God Almighty.
Start talking.
Why have you shot me?
Who are you?
What have you made us do?
Oh, my
Killing
God.
hobos, old ladies, librarians.
Oh, my God, we're in trouble now, boys. We're in big trouble. I never thought it would end like this.
The other one's using trouble.
Talk.
Don't you see, boys? We're all doomed now.
You are if you don't start talking.
I'm bleeding, boys. Get me. Help me up off this.
Enough riddles.
Help me up
Start
off this floor.
talking.
Help me up, boys. Help me into a chair.
Talk, old man.
I don't believe it, boys. What you've done, you don't don't have any idea, no
Oh
concept
my God, I
whatsoever.
cycle another round into the rifle. Old man, we were abducted. You have got 2 seconds to start talking, or that's it. And I'm just going to shoot you and get on a bus and disappear.
Oh, boys. Is anybody going to do anything about his bleeding?
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we
And
do
I'll do
want
a con-
answers.
Then I will do a, con roll to see if I pass out.
I mean, we do want answers. If he passes out, we get nothing.
Fine, I'll patch him up.
I'm going to look around, make sure there's nothing weird happening.
I don't have enough luck to make this right.
All right. No, you do it's for first April.
No, I did that, but I failed. But I don't.
All right. Yeah, you don't. It's literally ripped open. You can see the blood vessels and the muscles and everything is bleeding all over.
Get it out, O'Leary.
Yeah, not much time left for you.
There's not much time left for all of us. You were supposed to do it before tonight. It was what was critical.
Why?
Listen, boys, there's a whole nother world, one that you've never even seen or understood. And there's a very powerful man behind it all. He'll be sending his assassins for all of us. Listen, there's another world, something you've never even imagined. It's attached to this world by threads, but some people can cross over when you dream. When you dream, you go to other places sometimes. Sometimes you get glimpses of it, but it's real, boys. It's real. And in that other place, there's all sorts of things like mountains and valleys and rivers and castles and grand kingdoms. There's the grandest of them all is a place called Celophaeus. And there is a man who rules over it who's a king. He's a very good man, but he has people around him. I also can travel there, but I'm a slave. And the man who's the most evil there is the Archbishop. He's kind of like a Richelieu. He's conniving and trying to get in power inside the kingdom of dreams. He's forced me and you to kill off his rivals in the Dreamlands so that he can make a move. You were supposed to kill off Jane Richmond.
And we have.
That's her name in the real world.
She goes to this dream.
Well, if you killed her, then we could have all left this place.
She might be a nobody in this world, but in the dream world, she might be important. Same with the other ones.
She is.
So in this world, it doesn't so matter that they're a librarian or an accountant, because in the dream world, they could have an entirely different role.
Wait,
That's
you
right.
believe
Are
this
you really a
bullcrap?
priest? Old man,
believe
you
this
really a
bullshit?
priest?
No, I'm not a priest.
Hell,
Nor are you
But you
guys
know-
Catholic orphans.
So you kidnapped us and made us do your killing.
No. The
Who did?
Archbishop captured you. The
And he's
Archbishop
coming
is
here tonight?
No. He's going if you have succeeded, then he'll drop this altogether. But if
We didn't kill the old lady. We didn't kill the old lady. We're not going to kill anybody anymore except you. I'm going to kill you.
well, boys, then the Archbishop will know tonight. He knows who you are. He knows about your lives, and he'll destroy you. He'll destroy your minds for failing him. He'll kill you all.
Is there any way to stop that from happening?
He's already destroyed our
Boys,
lives.
I'm fading fast. You say you didn't kill her?
No.
Nope.
Well, then she may be your only hope.
How do we find her in the dreams?
He passes out.
Is he still breathing?
The blood is spreading everywhere.
All right, guys.
Yeah. If I still know or remember it, I give him last rites.
You're not even Catholic. You're not
Yeah,
sure
but I
that
still vaguely
you,
remember.
you now sort of think that every time you were giving somebody
it's
last
like blah,
rites,
blah, 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 blah,
you
blah.
you were making up words. And it wasn't even Latin.
I try anyways.
Save us, Jane Richmond.
You are only hope.
What do you think of the chances of that?
Do you guys believe anything that? Do you guys believe any of this?
I don't know anymore. He might be right. He might be wrong.
Well, I guess we'll know when people start showing up here to kill us.
But I'm done. I'm done with all this.
What you guys want to do?
So we
Well,
searched. Go ahead, Ken.
In real life here, it's getting pretty late for me.
Yeah.
I say
So
let the assassins
almost-
come. Yeah. And see what happens.
I think that Kenny would try to get in the car and escape. I don't think he'd go back to the woman. I think he would just run. He might go try to find his wife. But it sounds like he's pretty screwed.
Well, if what O'Leary was saying is true, then it sounds like this archbishop isn't going to go after us in the waking world. He's going to go after us when we go to sleep.
Wait. Something comes up. Remember how we weren't supposed to hurt the husband?
That could have been just him not wanting any more collateral damage.
Could be, or maybe Kenny was right all along. Which would be hilarious.
Right about what?
Again, does the husband even know he's... Nah, that would be too much of a coincidence that he's actually the cardinal, wouldn't it?
Wait, if we're killing these people because they're somebodies in the Dreamlands, and this archbishop has to have an analog in the real world.
Right. And we were told explicitly not to hurt just one man.
We don't know that's true.
That we remember. But
That he has to have an analog in this world. Do we know that?
I'm just guessing. But if all these people are people in our world, but somebody else in the dream world, then I'm just putting two and two together and thinking that maybe there's a 1-for-1 ratio of people.
we
Maybe.
won't know who.
I don't know if we'll ever be able to find that out.
So only one we is either we let these assassins come, hope we can take them down and then keep running, or we go and find the angry old woman who doesn't even remember who she is in the dream world, apparently. And
Father O'Leary passes away at this point.
So it sounds like, this, but that place would be crawling with cops.
Yes, it will.
It sounds like the only way that we're going to make it through this is if we take her out.
take her out.
No. Taking her out is what the Archbishop wanted us to do in the first place. You're saying to follow through with the plan so that we can continue to be the stooges for this Archbishop?
Yeah.
Well, Larry said that if we took care of her, then this Archbishop wouldn't come after us.
He's the Archbishop's slave, like he says. And if we do it, we'll become his slaves forever. Better to spite him. and die standing than live on
So
our knees.
come to a consensus of how you want to proceed, and we'll wrap it up with epilogue-ish.
Here's my thinking. Killing monsters is one thing. We were duped into that, right?
Mhm.
So we thought we were killing monsters. Now we're going to have to go kill a woman to further the evil machinations of some dude, even if we believe this stuff. And that's very different. So I don't think Kenny would do that. I really think Kenny would just try to run.
Kenny's going to run.
Yeah, it's kind of where Hank's at too. Just disappear back to his home.
Denny and Seamus.
Danny knows he doesn't have a home anymore. He's going to go stay awake as long as he can and find the old woman.
Okay, Seamus.
He doesn't even know what to believe anymore. But he knows he doesn't want to be a part of this, so he would probably try to disappear.
Okay. So we'll say that you guys get in the car together. You get down to civilization at some point. Maybe you find some money in the monastery and you buy bus tickets or train tickets to take you back to your places, except for Denny. Rather than play out a whole nother scenario of you trying to get close to her, I don't think that you would be able to. But nothing seems to ever happen to any of you.
Ooh.
Or we're dead in the dream world, we just don't know.
So you survive. Just say it that way. Always a little bit afraid of something that happened, trying to put back your lives, which have been shattered, of course, by your disappearance. But when you come back, maybe there's, a soap opera like reunion as your wife suddenly finds out you didn't disappear and die 3 years ago. And the police have been looking for you because you were missing, not because you did anything. And nobody ever traces the murders back to you. And that will be the end of the game, of your story. So what was really happening? Well, you got a bit of it at the end. The Archbishop was an evil character in the Dreamlands, and he had come up with machinations to rid the court, the kingly court, of some of the most principal people. Edward Hesset was the viceroy to the king. He was killed. Jordan Domner was the Lord High Chamberlain to the king. He was killed. Jane was the chief of the king's guard. She was the chief of the king's guard. Now, what I think, and Cleveland Franco was, he was a courtier in the king who was quite in opposition to the archbishop. She was the chief of the king's guard. Everything that happened, she did not know who people were in the real world. She knew they were in the Dreamlands. She knew that she was a dreamer, quite a vivid dreamer. Her husband didn't know that she was a vivid dreamer. When she was in the car, just before you pushed her out, I had Hank do a luck roll and he failed. What you would have seen as you were getting ready to drive away was she would have started to run towards that house and then stopped in her tracks and then looked back at the car as you were pulling away. She started to think, the Lord High Chamberlain has not been there for a while. And could they be talking about the Dreamlands? She would have suddenly turned to you and understood. Maybe she did understand. And so when she went to sleep that night, she accused the archbishop of murdering, and the archbishop was taken care of by King Kuranes. All right, that's the way your story went. The other times they played, you guys really complicated things in this. I was afraid with Denny figuring out the pins, or at least fiddling with the pins, that it was going
First
to
5 minutes.
start in the first 5 minutes. Ideally, as soon as you figured out the pins had been deceiving you, every other group that played it went storming back to Father O'Leary and beat the shit out of him. And in the process of beating the shit out of him and him realize, he tells them the entire thing, including the name of the Archbishop in the real world, who he knows. He's kind of innocent and not innocent. He's a slave. There's things that the Archbishop could do to him in the dreamlands that would make him scream in an insane asylum for the rest of us. So he couldn't get out of being coerced into it. He actually would kill himself that evening rather than let him fall asleep. But he would have told you that, and then ideally you would have gone to Jane Richmond after that. And if you'd have just gone up and knocked on her door, her husband would answer, and you asked for her. If she came down, if you just said Dreamland stuff, she would have said, "Oh, just hold on a minute," and she would have gotten her husband to leave, and she would have been like, "What are you talking about? How do you know this?" You could have warned her, and she would have then, she's the captain of the guard. She would have got him for his machinations. Anyways, that it was very interesting the way the direction you guys went in. You can watch the previous versions of it. They're all very entertaining.
Did most of the other versions also survive, and then just like different ways of surviving, or did they like die?
I can't remember if the first one they died. I can't remember anymore. But yeah, for the most part, you survive. The very first version was the one that Sean ran, and his version of the whole thing is a little different. There's stuff that's in there that I cut out because I didn't think it was, it took too long, to play. The other ones, everybody else played this in about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, you guys chatted a lot. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish. Our players included Dan DePolis, Matt Ryan, Joseph Clay, and Billy Chung, with myself as the keeper of the secrets. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. There's a link below. We currently produce up to 4 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production. In order to create a richer listener experience, we provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. If you'd like to help support our show, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 a month helps us a lot. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.